Hello, welcome to the Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. It's Monday night. It's meant to be quiz night, but it is not quiz night. It is, in fact, the FAQ review night. I'm your host. I'm here, live in the Honest Wargamer studio. Thanks for joining us, everyone on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. You guys are only getting to watch this because of the amazing people on Patreon and Twitch who subscribe, donate money to the show to make the show going. Join with me. Conjoined with you. I really thought I was going to roll this. I was going to be like an ESPN presenter. No, I am joined today by two amazing gentlemen, Mr. Nathan Prescott.
Skull.
And I'm also joined by Mr. Jonathan Atland. Skull. So you should be able to hear John. Nathan, as Anne just said, does look like Budget Santa.
I am Budget Santa.
And with him is his small moose, his reindeer, Jet the dog.
Hello, reindeer.
Hello. Nathan's hat is amazing. The ladies love it, according to Too Drunk Scrivo.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Yes, they do.
Hello, Felonious Skunk. Thanks very much for subscribing 5 months in a row. Hey, Speckles. Good luck with the job interview tomorrow. Sunny says Bad Santa. That's correct. Hi, Alt Boy Phil, LLV, Martin Orlando. Hi there. Flukes a lot. Hope you're all doing really well. We were meant to be doing Solomon Helsing. Thanks for subscribing to Twitch Prime for your first one this month.
Nice.
There you go. I always like the fresh ones.
Solomon Helsing.
Yeah, Solomon Helsing,
That's
the
great
new
name,
blood.
Solomon.
Jonathan, what do you guys call the new bloods over there? Oh my God, I'm not. No, in fact, no. Don't answer that. I apologise. Red Strike 2K7. Hello. So, John, how have you been?
I've been good. We're keeping busy. I have, from now on, I don't think I will ever build a model again for the rest of my life.
Oh my God, you salty bitch.
No. It's just because I found a guy who does it pretty cheap.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, I'm a grown man. I can pay people to do my stuff that I don't like. So, I'm gonna keep doing that.
Agreed. That's how I felt today. Today I collated all of the FAQ stuff into a single document, and I sent it to both you and Nathan, aware that neither of you will have read the show notes before we went live, but at least having them in front of you would help. And doing it, I was like, well, no one else is going to...
You sent us the document. When was that?
Today. Yeah, it's on that screen. I even uploaded the webpage so you can see it.
Better click back on
for
that
God's
screen.
sakes. Hi, Par UK. I love Par. He's got great hair. I always look at Par's hair and I'm like, it's so thick and lustrous.
He's got
He looks like a slightly older you.
A slightly older me or a slightly older Jew?
Both.
He's got very cavalier facial hair, I say.
He has got cavalier facial hair. Yeah.
A man of chivalry.
Yeah. So, hello, Tugboat K, talking about another one with cavalier facial hair. That's Tugboat K. I know who that is.
Tugboat. Oh, yeah, Tuggy. Yeah.
Tuggy.
Yeah.
Heinrad, happy AOS Monday. Hi. Popcorn ready. Okay, so today we were going to do a quiz. I'd written out a quiz. I don't think we're going to get time to do it now, unfortunately. So we will do that next Monday, even if I'm doing it alone. I know it's Christmas Eve next Monday, but I'm still going to do it. I'm going to do the AOS quiz. That's what we're going to do.
Eve.
The big fat quiz of the year.
I should be able to join you for that. Yeah.
Nathan, fantastic. Jonathan, I imagine you can't join us because you'll be rounding up all the elk to help Santa fly them to Norwegia.
No.
You know, that's just a myth. You know that it's reindeers.
No, it's not a myth. It's real. Wait, who do you think it is?
Don't you know how where Christmas origins? From?
There's supposed to be goats or something, isn't it?
Is it goats?
No, man. It's from the Vikings. That's where the Christmas originates.
Oh, okay.
So Odin's horse Sleipnir had 8 legs, which turned into 8 reindeers, basically.
So.
And his 2 ravens turned into 2 black elves. That would tell if you've been good or naughty.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I'm actually having the best time learning this. This is fantastic.
Obviously, it's true.
Okay, all right, great.
And
So,
all of those
so
words.
in Sweden we call it Jul. Christmas is Jul in Swedish,
Yeah.
and that's what they call the midwinter solace in the Viking area was called Yule.
Yule.
And so they celebrated the sun coming back. Then the Christians came and said like, yeah, but we would really like if you like had a holiday with us. So then they said, well, yeah, but Jesus was born on Christmas Eve. He wasn't.
He wasn't. Okay. All right.
Maybe because it never exist. But
Oh my God! Right, let's not offend anyone else. Right during the show.
I'm sure you should check it out. Origins from the Viking area.
Thanks, Arkian. I will do that. Yeah, we will do 100%. Hi, Lee Bromley. Thanks, John. Thanks for that history lesson. Also, just remember to do the right overlay now, so you guys should see it. It says, look, there's Jonathan calling in. A little yellow box.
Oh yeah, he's got a yellow box.
Yeah, big shout out to John Scrivens doing that there, making it work. Nathan, have you been well? Excited about Age of Sigmar?
Yeah, always.
Always. Jonathan, excited about Age of Sigmar? Give your honest feelings.
Always.
No, give your honest feelings.
Nothing has changed. We're gonna have 6 more months of the same percentages, which is a bit boring, I guess.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
That's my overall feeling.
Okay. Viking pagan debunked Christianity live on air. Right. Okay. So the first off.
Sorry.
So the first off, let's just dive in because this is the subject of the day. Yeah, I'm gonna get this up as a podcast as quickly as possible, and just everyone just have their 10 cents. So everyone in the Twitch chat, Nathan and Jonathan, you're all absolutely welcome. We're gonna go through the FAQ and all of the changes bit by bit. Yeah, that's gonna be the process. If you listened to the last podcast, or you happen to listen to the live show, or if you missed it completely, if you go on thehonestwargamer.com, we've actually already changed it so that we're now live for Age of Sigmar 2.2. So with this big FAQ coming out, and questions as to whether or not it's a big FAQ coming soon, it means that a load of the lists that you'll have seen on the website will have been greyed out, because they're effectively for 2.1 version of Age of Sigmar. Now I know that there aren't any real massive changes effectively, and if you've already written a rundown, it's fine. You go onto your account, just click edit, and just change which edition it is a change for. But if you have written a rundown with something like Doppelganger Cloak, it's worth going on there and changing the fact that it's only useful once per battle now, as an example,
okay.
right?
Cool.
Yeah. So then the only ones that will be at the top of the
obviously.
page will be ones that are relevant to this edition of Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. It's not a massive change, but quite cool, right?
Cool.
Yeah. Nice. All right. So everyone's going to have something to say, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. Yeah. Jonathan, Nathan, before we get into it, what were you expecting from a big FAQ to do with Age of Sigmar from Games Workshop? They've said that they're going to release 2 a year along with the General's Handbook, and their mission statement was that it was to balance and fix the game, in a setting. That was their mission statement. You can find that on their community page. What were you guys expecting to change going into this FAQ? That's to Nathan. You go first.
Okay. Well, I know some people were expecting points changes. I wasn't expecting that because I think that's a General's Handbook thing. And then I think the winter FAQ or the middle FAQ is normally the smaller one. I would say. So I've not read the FAQ yet because I clicked on the link and it didn't show me anything new. And then I was busy, so I've not had a chance to look at it. So this is going to be a learning experience for me. But I'm not expecting massive changes from it.
Okay, so you wouldn't.
For me, the main things would be like tidying up the Holy Within thing. So I don't know if that's been done or not.
Okay, good.
I look forward to finding that out. And just a few things like that.
Yeah, we should probably do this in the future. One of us, and specifically you, should not read stuff ahead of time and go, what you expect.
Great at not reading stuff. If you need stuff not being read, let me know.
Jonathan, what were you expecting from the FAQ to come out? And also that question to the Twitch chat while Jonathan tells us.
So I thought that they would obviously clear out some ambiguous stuff. And nothing specific, but just clear the stuff that was ambiguous out. But I also thought that they would take some feedback from the community regarding like stacking stuff.
Yeah.
I guess it's one of the big ones, but yeah, it seems like they have. I wasn't expecting points. I think an errata and an FAQ can have just as big of an impact as points.
Yeah.
Well, so
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's happened with like Legions of Nagash and stuff like that.
well, it's so exciting. I can't wait to tell you what's happened with all of the
I
things.
mean, there were quite a few suggestions about Nighthawk and Legions of Nagash interaction.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to see what's happened there, if anything.
Yeah, so I think one of the things like that is a key before another key bit of like tell a bit on my own all day, really not getting the words right. One of the things that you that we need to preface this entire conversation with is obviously Games Workshop asks for feedback on Facebook with huge amounts of information being posted on there via posts. I know I was in
But that was for the recent one was for General's Handbook.
No, this one's gone through like a huge swath of different battle tomes, but not some. Like we'll get to that in a minute. So they asked for loads and loads of feedback. I know at least 2 different people. I'm in one Facebook thread that was a guy who's collating hours of information from his local group. I've seen the Australian guys collating loads of information their end. I saw another guy in a WhatsApp group collating loads of information and putting it together and really like pounding it together. So collectively, just from my own eyeballs, I must have seen like a good I don't know, 30-40 man hours worth of time put into stuff. But I imagine
that was recently, like about 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. But that was they specifically said in there when they were asking for the information that was for the next General's Handbook, not for the FAQ.
Yeah, I agree. And while the next General's Handbook is obviously going to go to print
sooner rather than
probably
later.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
like realistically, some of those things that they could have like worked on now, right? But just worth pointing out that they'd had a lot of feedback, I think, from the community.
They've got loads of info.
So with that said, we should expect potentially some changes.
Yes.
I think it's good that it didn't change any points, because normally when they do these FAQs, or not normally when they do FAQs, but they tend to do FAQs, erratas, and point change at the same time, which tends to overly make something worse, or vice versa.
Yeah, they tend to double down when they do like the whole points change and the rules change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's better if they're doing one or the other, not.
I couldn't agree more. Final point as well. I personally would prefer that they always pulled the lever on points. They always made they always made something more expensive or less expensive than it would be to change kind of core rules. Because really, usually we either buy stuff or we own stuff. Normally because it's cool. Don't worry, I'm not saying that we're not doing that. But also because it works in the way that we think that it works. And fundamentally changing how something works is a little bit meh. I personally, before we get into it, would have loved to have seen a change to the one command point for 30 Grimghast Reapers back from Legions of Nagash. That would have been nice. It also would have been nice to see Hags at least go up a little bit of points. You are looking at like global stats worldwide. Daughters of Khaine currently rocking at like a 78% win rate. Like they effectively go 4-1 no matter who's piloting them. So that's pretty devastating. So I think something like that. I mean, that's a pretty well-rounded piece of information to just go, do you know what? Even if it's 20 points, even that's, but as to what it was. But I think points would have been nice to have done some rebalancing. But you're right, a lighter touch I feel is better. And my overall consensus is that while I effectively think that they've done nothing, what's great is that they haven't fucked stuff up. Because if we take 40k as a comparison, the FAQs that they've done over the past year, all they've done is continuously fuck stuff up more. Like it's just because. So actually, that's going to be my positive point at the end of all this, because I'm actually quite Jones, because I've looked at it and gone, do you know what? You could have done way worse. They could have done more, but I prefer they did less bad stuff than more bad stuff. That's my feeling.
Cool.
Is that fair?
Yeah, sounds fair.
Right, I want to read what the guys in the chat are saying. Xtab says, sounds like you're planning the Honest Wargamer site well. You fucking tryhard. Yeah, that's me. Sonice, surprised there wasn't more reverting to once per game and only affected once by this ability, which is fair. Donal says, hi, Mark Orlando. Flukes a lot. Nope. Heinrad, I was hoping they wouldn't change Daughters of Khaine too much, so I wouldn't have to learn or change too much in my tournament prep, which is fair. Gitli, nothing has happened, which I think is also true. Speckles, I can't wait to see Nathan's face when you tell him. Also, bring me the hand of Gabriel Shawhart. What else is happening? Yes, Eloise has pointed out that the stats that we have on the AosWargaming.com is 7,000 matches of AOS tourney data. That they could have used to rifle through. Looking at Iron Jaws, Nathan, as an example, based on the stats, they're not doing too great.
Yeah.
So you'd expect in this FAQ to get a bit of a boost.
Yeah. Well, if you can. I don't think there's much of I don't know.
Anyway, all right, so let's get on with the show, shall we? Let's get on with it all. So the Winter FAQ. I shall start at the top.
Oh, yeah. We're getting to that page now.
Right, core rules. So we're going to go through these in order. Core rules. Some abilities and spells require you to take a test against another unit's bravery characteristic. When this is the case, to use the bravery characteristic after any modifiers have been applied instead of unmodified characteristic on the unit's war scroll. Nathan, your answer is?
Well, I would say yes.
Jonathan, your answer would be? Jonathan? Yes. Okay. Start with Iron Jaws for Nathan. We'll do core rules first. No, nothing, Nathan. Don't look. Don't scroll. Just stay there.
Okay. I'll keep an eye on the chat then.
Yes. So basically, yes. Some of this is just clarification. Like you use modified bravery when you're doing bravery checks, but obviously not forgetting if you have a unit that's got let's say 30 models, they add plus 3 to their bravery. But it does say that you add +1 bravery for a battle shock test for every 10 models in a unit in the battle shock phase. So that doesn't become a bonus until the battle shock phase, right?
Yeah, well, it definitely used to say that. Does it say that still now? Because they have changed the wording on some of the banners.
It does still say that now.
Yeah.
I double checked. Yeah. Also, cool. Santa. What's going on with you?
I was just. I don't know what I was looking at. I was going to look at the rule, but then
I just wanted to ask you. I just wanted you to be Santa. Right, next up, units and models. An unmodified roll of a 1 to hit, wound, or save roll is always a failure. Is there another ability that triggers when? If there's another ability that triggers when that roll is a 6 or more, will it still trigger? Would you say yes or no, Nathan?
Sorry, I'll have to look at that. So an unmodified roll of a 1 for a hit, always a failure. If there's another ability that triggers that roll. Fuck. Yeah, no. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
John, what do you think? No? So this would
There's another ability that triggers that roll is 6. I don't understand.
Basically, what the clarity there is, not to muddy the waters, is effectively if you have an ability that works on a 6 or more, so it happens on 6 or more, and you're -1 to hit, does it work even with -1 to hit because a 6 is always a hit? And the answer is obviously no.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. Right. So the next one is great. Yeah? No, wait, that's not the next one. But this one is great, so I'll just carry on.
Okay.
So they clarified the roll of a 6 because certain older battle tomes and war scrolls had when you rolled a 6. But it didn't say 6 or more or a natural 6.
Yeah.
So they just clarified that up. Because in some cases now they just say an unmodified roll of 6, or in some cases, in some war scrolls, it says a 6 or more. What's really cool is now they've said if an ability refers to a roll of a 6 rather than a 6+ or a roll of 6 or more, it means a roll of a 6 after rerolls but before any modifiers are applied. Okay. So specifically, John, you were talking about that affects something specifically.
Yeah, it was the Demon Crown, I think, from I think that his name's Demon Crown or something from the Blades of Corn book, which triggers another attack on a 6. So before, if you had +1 to hit, it was on a 5, I guess. With +2, it was on a 4, but it wasn't on a 4, 5, 6. It was just on the 4. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not Crimson Crown, which is cool, but it was. So it's just nice. Yeah. It's good. You've done something. I like it. They've clarified some rules. Great. Exactly what I want from an FAQ. Some of these are hilarious clarifications, by the way, but that's excellent. Well done, boys. Next up, Nathan. They've clarified wholly within.
Cool. So that it means what we think it means?
So we mean what it think. But there was a bit of a risk, because it could have meant what we didn't think it means.
Yeah, could have meant not what it says.
Yeah.
So now it says what it says is what it is.
Yeah, so now
That's
if you're
nice.
wholly within, all of your models and all the bases have to be wholly within.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sweet.
You okay with that? John, you okay with that?
They could have just removed the old part with the Hollywood did that they wrote.
Yeah, I know. Shh.
So,
But
Up
it's
in-
good. It's good.
Up until this, up until this, I think that they're doing great.
so, but didn't you miss one out? Something.
Yeah, I did, but it's okay. It's not important.
Okay.
Some of them are really like you wonder who asked these questions,
Right, okay.
because I would say I don't know anyone.
I'd say it's the same guys who don't know what Holy Within means.
It's not. It's other guys like if it says a 4+ to hit and I roll a 5, do I hit? Yes.
Those are the same guys.
Right, the next one is excellent, and I want to say that this is brilliant. This is very much like you got your missus and she goes, "Hey, how do I look in this dress?" And you go, "Great," because you always just say great because you don't give any other fucking answer. Yeah, it's the sitting on the fence strategy. You don't argue, and it is. Are models allowed to climb on terrain features such as a fortress wall? Yeah. What would you say, Nathan? Yes or no?
Go on then, yeah.
Go on then, yeah. Jonathan, what do you think?
Yes, it's in the core rules even. So yeah, definitely.
Okay. The answer is, this is excellent. For simplicity and ease of play, the rules allow any model to climb on any terrain feature. Great job. If you wish, you can only allow models to move to places that they could reach in real life. But it will require a certain amount of common sense in order to make such a house rule work. So my question is, in real life, can I get on the back of a dragon or can I not?
You can't because they don't exist in real life.
That's true.
Easy.
Can I get on top of a fortress wall in real life?
Yes.
Yes, if you have a ladder.
Perfect. Can I get on the side of a tree?
Yes.
Yes. If you climb it.
Can I get on the top of Ravenin's gnashing jaws from the Endless Spells?
No.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Right. No. Okay.
No.
Jonathan, can I see Jesus?
Yes.
No. Never existed.
Yes, you can.
He exists now though, all over Southern America.
So common sense is a tough one. And the amount. Also, I really like the passive-aggressive nature of that statement. A certain amount of common sense will be required to make that work. So probably, dear reader, not you, you fucking nugget. Yeah. Hey, Dr. Vulcan, thank you very much for subscribing. Oh, he gifted a sub to Martin Orlando AOS. Right, so there's an ambivalent statement on terrain. You can now, if you wish, discuss with your opponent to have a common sense discussion about where your dragons and elves and magical spells can go.
Well, it's a good idea if you're going to say, are we going to say this is impossible?
No, well, that's what we did the other day when we played a game.
Exactly.
Is this impassable? And you went yes or no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just do that.
What about a boat? No, the wreck of a boat.
The wreck of a boat.
Impassable?
What about the wreck of a boat?
The
You
wreck of a
climb-
boat.
yeah,
Impassable or impassable?
Yes, you can climb through a wrecked boat.
But what if the wreck of the boat is currently inside of an Aether Sea?
Sure.
Jonathan.
Sure. You'd probably be
Then you
dead.
would swim, wouldn't you?
You would not need to move, you could swim.
Yeah.
That's right.
Use your scuba diving equipment and go wherever the hell you want to.
That's real true. Gitley, thank you very much for subscribing. Oh wait, no, Dr. Vulcan is giving it to Git. Dr. Vulcan's just on one, so that's great. Right, okay, it was damp. Flukesy, I've been in a wooden wreck. It was damp. Oh, this came up because people were standing more crushers on vertical terrain and making attacks. They were doing this like Spider-Man,
And they still can.
and they still can because Games Workshop haven't rectified it. Right.
It's perfect. They should always. I'm a little bit serious. These wrecks are. If you're gonna go over a wreck, just walk over it. It's 11 inches because you need to go up, down, over, up, down over, and it just feels wrong. So
To- a little bit serious.
it's a way
This
better
Vex-
solution
Okay, all right.
to have them just you can stand on them. If I could decide regarding all the terrain features that allegiances bring with them, they should all be treated like regular.
This FAQ's ace. I fucking love it when FAQs come out. They're the greatest. Can I just say hello to everyone on YouTube, Sean, Blake and Demon Lizard who are watching. That's really cool. Also to everyone in the chat,
Blake.
feel
Nice.
free.
And I multiplied because I have twice as much to say as everybody else.
Cool. Glad somebody's alert.
Mixed Director says in tournaments we know that common sense is the most common. Right, okay, let's... Jonathan's audio was much better there for a second, apparently. Right, some
he had
abilities
lots to
allow
say.
a model to make a move out of sequence in the hero phase, for example, or to make a specific type of move, a 6-inch retreat move, for example. Can I run when I make these moves? You can only run if the ability refers to making a normal move. So effectively what they've done is they've clarified out of sequence abilities.
Yeah.
So they still, I think still they have a huge language issue with move, normal move, out of sequence moves, running. I still think that they haven't tackled that a lot. A lot of people say, like, you know, setup is a setup a move. Can I set up a move? Like, I still think that they've got some big language issues. So I feel that they're trying to at least attack this and clarify some of it.
Yeah.
So it might be really good. I'm going to go through this really in detail this week and try and make a kind of flowchart. That's gonna help people. Like, I know it sounds really silly, but like it can become a little bit convoluted. So I'm gonna try and break it down into some flowcharts for people, especially for out of sequence stuff.
Break it down.
Break it down. I'm gonna break it down.
Yeah, breakdown. Cool.
Lotan, thanks so much. There's two sexy fuckers right here. Jonathan's all the way in Sweden, also looking sexy. Are you guys happy with the clarification of out of sequence movements?
In general, what was the answer? No.
It's basically saying you can only run if the ability refers to making a normal move, which includes any move as if it were the movement phase. And the ability doesn't specify the distance of the move. Note that restrictions that apply to normal moves, not moving within 3 inches of the enemy, and having to retreat if they start within 3 inches of the enemy, also apply to normal moves made in any other phase. But that would mean if you had an ability that means you could make a move, and it doesn't say normal move, in the hero phase, let's say, if I had an ability that said I could make a move in the hero phase, but it had neglected to say that I couldn't get within 3 inches of the enemy, I would be able to do so. But a normal move inside of the hero phase would mean that I would never be able to do so.
Okay.
And you would hope all instances of a rule where they say you can make a move in the hero phase, let's say, would say, but you cannot get within 3 inches of the enemy. You would hope that they...
So what about moves in the charge phase?
Same thing. If it says move or normal move, you need to go back and read what your rule says, see if it says move or normal move, and then see if there's any other stipulations to that rule.
Right.
Yeah?
So if there's no stipulations, then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, because it says this. Note that restrictions that apply to normal moves, not moving within 3 inches of the enemy, and having to retreat if they start in 3 inches of the enemy, also apply to normal moves made in any other phase. Right? Happy with that?
Okay.
I think if it isn't a charge, you shouldn't be able to come in within 3 inches.
So I'm thinking about...
Don't need a flow chart, whatever. It's just... I think you should charge into combat, keep that clean. Any other move, no, you shouldn't be able to move within 3 inches. Easy peasy.
Yeah, but let's not muddy the water with what we would like. It's just what exists.
Yeah, exactly. And now we need a fucking flow chart to see whatever we can do anything.
Man, pictograms.
It's longer than.
What's wrong with pictograms? I love this. I want people turning up with like, excuse me, let me just consult my Filofax to see if you're able to move. And you go
Filofax.
and you just read through it and you're like, that's fine. That's continue on. That's fantastic. Who doesn't want one of those? Maybe tattooed on your arm.
Yeah. Can we get cave paintings? Can we bring up a cave with... I'm just going to consult the wall. Because it's got pictures.
It does help. It helps TOs because whenever there's any clarity, a TO can at least point something out and say.
That's how all the Iron Jaws player feels like when they look in their battle token. Because it's basically a cave painting.
It is a cave painting. Then there's a silly one about Battle Shark and models being slain. I don't think that's really important.
Yeah, it is. I guess. I think it's just a clarification. You know, if you sacrifice the dam with a death army and bring it back, you need to make sure you know that you brought it back, etc. If you can do that, I don't know the sequence of it.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, it's a scenario of it happening.
Yes, absolutely. So then, next one. If you use an ability that allows a unit to do something in the hero phase, as if it were a different phase, can I use abilities that could affect it in that phase in the hero phase? For example, if I was allowed to make a shooting attack with a unit in my hero phase, as if it were my shooting phase, would an ability that allowed me to make an extra attack with that unit in my shooting phase apply? The answer is no to both questions. Abilities that state they can only be used or only apply in a certain phase can only be used in that phase, which makes loads of sense. I don't really understand why that needed much clarity, but it's been clarified and that's excellent. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah? Hi, Surfer Dibs. That one's good. If an ability or a spell stops another unit from being able to fly, who asked this question? Does this stop that unit from being able to move at all? Nathan, yes or no?
No, it can walk. It becomes a walk. It's like when you take the wings off a fly. It's not a fly, it's a walk.
Or reindeer at Christmas. It's the opposite. Because they normally walk, but then you make them fly.
Yeah.
So now they can fly. But they can still move when not flying for Santa.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because you've shown me the pictures of your reindeer farm.
On the cave painting wall.
They're standing still on the pictures, aren't they?
Yes.
But not if you flick through really fast from one cave to the next. Like run. Then they go clank.
Left foot, right foot.
Right, next up, wizards and spells. Is there a spell that appears, if there is a spell that appears on two different war scrolls and has exactly the same name, can I use both of them in the same turn?
No.
Correct. Jonathan? No?
No.
And then, no. So that's cool. Nice. Because I'm sure with some of the older war scrolls there'll be some issues.
Well, they've all got they've written out on all of them Mystic Shield and Arcane Bolt, so they're all on all the war scrolls.
That's true. Right, okay, finally, they updated the base size, not finally, for this section, they updated the base sizes for loads of the Forge World models.
Yeah.
They also updated the base sizes for Khorne, Flesh Hounds of Khorne, for like the 4th time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the base that you can now get, they've now got an official base size for the Dreadsaurian and the Mammoth. Both of those base sizes are unavailable from Games Workshop and effectively are ludicrous. And I personally, this is where I'm putting my flag in the fucking sand. I ain't give a shit. Yeah. I've got an Archeon base. Anything that's crazy big, I've got an Archeon base. My model goes on that. And if you got an issue with it, fuck you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter of the case of the mammoth now, does it? Because you can't even buy the mammoth, so. Compendium.
Dr. Vogan, thank you.
In your throat.
Yeah, and Tamrakan. Tamrakan's on a crazy big base. I just want to say thank you, Dr. Vulcan, for donating another sub to the chat to Kularu. Kularu's got himself a little sub. Yeah, Christmas. It's Dr. Vulcan's on a Christmas vibe. Yeah, just giving them away.
Ho, ho, ho. He's got subs in his sack.
Attack Max says, if Games Workshop doesn't sell the correct base size, are you allowed third-party bases without being banned?
You have to, I don't know, is that in the FAQ?
No, it's not in there, sorry.
Send that question in.
That was a good phrase. Jolly well fucked, I like that.
Sorry, say that again.
He wrote, or are you jolly well fucked?
Right, okay. Right, Nathan, they've also updated some stuff from GHB 2018, and this is on page 134. Iron Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mighty Destroyers, add to this rules, you cannot pick the same unit to benefit from this ability more than once per hero phase.
Oh, fair enough. Alright then, yeah.
Is that okay?
I guess so.
Are you okay with it?
Yeah.
Yeah? So this basically means you can't make a unit move twice in the hero phase.
Yeah.
It's like they said, we don't want you to stack.
No,
this
John.
ability.
No, John, this FAQ is not like that at all. This is the
fair enough.
And it's true, Mr. Mephisto is pointing out, with their sub 40% win rate, Iron Jaws really did need to make sure, because
they were moving too fast.
Well, they were moving too fast. There were too many tournaments where they were moving too fast and losing. So I think what they're trying to do,
just slow them down.
You're like, look, boys, you're going too fast.
Yeah, just slow down. You'll die slower if you're still on your side of the board.
Yeah, and the Grot terrorist himself, Donor, has pointed out that if you just actually have a Destruction allegiance as opposed to an Ironjaw's allegiance, you can still use the Mighty Destroyers to move twice.
Yeah, that's Rampaging Destroyers, yeah.
Rampaging Destroyers.
Yeah.
So they haven't fixed that. So only Ironjaws specifically can't move twice. Fuck those guys.
Just trying to think how often I've done it. It's very seldom that you stack that one anyway. So,
I mean,
I can't blame you, Nathan, for like not finding an issue with it right now. I mean, they spent 6 months on it and they nerfed one of them.
Yeah, this is right. Anyway, and then in the core book, in the Realm of Battle Uglu Realmscape feature, Shadow Realms, add the following: the unit may not move in the subsequent movement phase. So they've stopped it being able to move,
where you
teleport and move.
Yeah. Sweet. That's great. That's
good.
Right. So Nathan, this one is going to tickle your fucking pickle. Yeah, Jonathan, you get ready because I know for a fact both of you are big elf fans. Yeah. So we should talk about that. The fact that you're not able to move a unit. Sorry, the last one, just quickly. You're not able to move. Teleport a unit and move is excellent. We all agree with that. That's a great change. Yeah, John, great change.
Crying out for that, definitely.
I agree.
Yeah, good. Right. So Wild Riders. Yeah. This is really important. Hi, Dude Ardey, you gorgeous, gorgeous person. Don't all the Grot King. Fireballs. Wild Riders now have had some units of Wild Riders carry Wild Rider shields added to their War Scroll. We've got a War Scroll update, everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, get excited. And then they've had the ability added, Wild Riders with shields, you can reroll save rolls of 1 for attacks that target the unit carrying Wild Rider shields. Amazing, because of all the Wild Riders that we've ever seen. But in addition, you have to subtract 2 from the move characteristic of a unit carrying Wild Rider shields.
Unless the wind is behind you.
Or you're shouting, "Go pony, go!"
Oh, fair enough. I mean, just what? Yeah. Well, what sounds okay.
So how do we feel about that? Because there's been a bit of an issue with the Wild Rider meta in competitive match play. A lot of people have been complaining that Wild Riders are just too fast and too survivable.
They are too fast, yeah. And you can get into combat way too easy when they earlier. So yeah, I think this is just probably one of the best changes in this whole errata/epic.
I think so. What we've seen so far in the FAQ is Games Workshop are just slowing units down. They're just like, everyone's going too fast. Yeah, sure. Just slow the fuck down. Does anyone care?
Do shields up? Fucking hell. Alright, yeah, fair enough, whatever they want. Why are they doing so much about wonders?
Oh, LOV's made a solid point. This is the only scroll in the whole of AOS that equipment changes the movement. Where equipment changes the movement.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a couple of banners or musicians that obviously alter movement.
Yeah.
But where the actual equipment to the core, like the regular troops, yeah.
Exciting.
Well, in some games before this FAQ, if you took a wizard that had the potentiality to fly, and you didn't take that option, he couldn't move at all. In some cases, apparently, according to this FAQ.
Also, Tiny Dino's pointed out a really good thing, actually. You can equip discs on Enlightened, etc. Yeah, and they move 16. I actually forgot that anyone didn't take. I'd forgotten that there was an option not to have a disc and just have a slower unit. Like, I forgot that existed.
But with less attacks.
Yeah. Right,
so obviously if it's got less attacks, you don't want it to go so fast.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's more survivable now. It's basically devastating. Cameron Thompson says on YouTube, Gorby's Chariot versus regular Chaos Chariot. Like, but they're different. They've got different monsters, haven't they? Horses versus a Gorbeast.
Yeah.
It is slower, yeah. Anyway. So we've spent too long on this because no one gives a shit. Do the shields that come with Sisters of Thorn Wild Rider models have any special rules? Answer, no. I'm weirded out by that because it just gave them some rules above.
No, that was Oh, Wild Riders. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah.
So, are they telling me that those new rules no longer are rules? Great question.
Well, no, the War Scroll overrides the rules. So if it's a War Scroll update, then it overrides the rules that they put on. That's weird, though. Yes.
Anyway, can I use a Waste Rider's Heartseeker arrow ability on a general that is set up after battle begins? Who the fuck is asking this question? Jonathan, yes or no?
It wasn't me. It was those questions.
Someone had to ask it.
Don't me.
Okay, alright, well, someone asked it. Go on, what do you think?
No, you can't shoot somebody that's not there.
That's true, Dave. This is anyway excellent. So that was all of the updates for Grand Alliance Order. Also, they also changed it so that those battalions aren't in effect anymore. They did a Thanos to the battalions.
What battalions?
I'll come back to that. I'll say it at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, because we'll do that in the recap. But battalions, Thanos. I was proud of that, but no one laughed, so fucking I'll stick on my own, shall I? Anyway, now we get into factions, right? Deepkin.
Oh, did none of the other Grand Alliances have any alterations?
Oh, hold on. Colouroo's got something really important to say. As the only Wanderers player in the UK, I've been eagerly awaiting this news for years. It's like Christmas already.
Christmas has come early.
He's just there. He's just like, he's got to find his bits box and got all the shields out. He's like, finally, yeah. But now he has to wrestle with the idea of like, does he want to go a little bit faster or be a little bit more survivable? It's a challenging time for the Wanderers community. Both people in their WhatsApp group currently furious with each other. They're on two sides of that fence.
Yeah.
Right.
There'll be Heartseeker arrows flying all over the place. Or not.
Then he says, I don't even own Wild Riders, they're shit. Who asked the question? Anyway, Deepkin. Right, on page 94, the Ether Seed change, the final paragraph to a Idoneth Deepkin army can include up to 2 Gloomtide shipwreck terrain features after territories have been chosen. But before armies are set up, you can set up the Gloomtide shipwrecks anywhere on the battlefield more than 1 inch from any other terrain features, but more than 6 inches from any other Gloomtide shipwrecks, and more than 6 inches from where any objectives will be located at the start of the first battle round. If both players can set up the terrain feature before armies are set up, they must roll off, and the winner can choose the order in which the terrain features are set up. Great change. What do you think? If you're not an Idoneth Deepkin player.
Sounds good, yeah.
I'm an Idoneth Deepkin player.
And what do you think?
It depends. When we come to the Sylvaneth Wildwood placement. Because, as I said before, or as we said before, you can stand anywhere on any terrain piece. There's no like boundaries on where you can stand. I'm sure you can take a mortal wound if you're close to the objective on a 4-up. But it's a mortal wound, maybe. Compared to what Sylvaneth Wildwood does when it is an objective. Like, power level wise, no. But from a game mechanic point of view, yes. Like, you should be able to play close to the objectives.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm super excited to see them, obviously, as we read through. I'm almost certain it's going to have happened to the Feckler Narmor, Sylvaneth Wildwoods, and all the other things. So I'm excited to see if those changes are also, if not just weirdly only the boat, and yet other terrain pieces that you feature, that you plant, aren't affected. It would be, that would be weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Away from objectives is a win. Fuck them, my wildwoods are going there, says Rick. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, they didn't actually change it for either the wildwoods or the Feculent Narmor. So, turns out
it's a bad change.
They're just, yes, they're just against boats, particularly.
But wasn't this, I think this was in the previous FAQ as well. I might be wrong, but I think this was changed in the previous FAQ. Because they didn't know their own rules that you can stand anywhere on any terrain piece. So they entered this in the game.
Jonathan,
just in case somebody didn't read rules.
That sounds so mean. They don't know their own rules. I'm sure they're trying real hard. They just got lots to do. They're just busy. It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
I'm suspecting hard deadlines is the issue here, not the actual personnel working with the.
Yeah, I agree. So how does High Tide rule work if two Idoneth Deepkin's armies fight each other? Now, there's actually an answer, but I assume the answer would be one of them just goes, I've got loads of eels, and then the other one goes, me too, and then they go, how'd you paint your eels? And the other one goes, blue, it's harder than orange, and then they roll off, and then they both go to the bar like a pair of twats. That's my thoughts. Yeah?
Rude. Yeah, I'm not sure.
What do you think, Nathan?
What do I think about what they do at the bar?
Yeah, what do you think they talk about after they've talked about their eels?
That's probably all they ever talk about, isn't it? Just sliding eels into each other.
Yeah, just they keep showing each other like Japanese eel porn, and they're just like, look at this is fantastic. Okay, no, what they actually said was, so they clarified it and said if both sides can use an ability at the start of the phase, such as High Tide loses ability, the player whose turn it is taking place uses it first, followed by their opponent. So much like any other rule that we find in Age of Sigmar. Jonathan, what do you think?
Oh, is that how you read it? I read it wrong then. I read it so that the player who is in charge gets to use all of his High Tide units first, and then the other player, whatever's left, gets to use his High Tide abilities.
Yes, but it basically there's been in Age of Sigmar for a long time a precedent for if it's your turn, you get if there's a priority to a degree on a rule set.
I can see the ruling, but I think it's probably more fun for both Idoneth player if it's High Tide, they do every other, just like a normal turn.
Could be.
But this is cleaner, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Old John Scrivens, the gorgeous man he is himself, does all the artwork, has also put an eel song YouTube link in the chat, so if that helps you out. Also, yes, thank you James McPherson, big shout out to our New Zealand brother. Says start singing Cockney, no, a different song, never mind, ignore that. Or, do you know, I suppose if you're an international viewer, Jonathan, you won't know this, and Nathan, obviously, you won't know this because you're an immigrant. One of the things that we have in England, jellied eels. Jellied eels is a big thing. John, didn't you tell me jellied eels was a big thing your end?
Jellied eels?
Jellied eels.
Oh, like the food?
Yeah, the food.
No, we don't jelly it. Jellying it is disgusting. We just eat it. Smoke it. Good.
Exotic. No, it's not. Jellied eels is just an English dish. Yeah, the dish is the right one. Right, okay.
Why would you jelly eel or any fish whatsoever? You beasts.
And this is why we're Brexiting you shits, because you don't know about jelly and stuff. We jelly everything. Chickens, gooses, we'll jelly anything. You got no clue.
Disgusting. Why?
Because the jelly is naturally in them.
I'm gonna Google this.
Yeah, right. Be careful about jelly deals, because the internet is a dark and dangerous place.
Oh my god, what the fuck are you eating this shit for?
Gurgorg says to me, are you the guy from Warhammer TV? Gurgorg, I am that guy, one time. Right, next up. If I use the... How can you not... Do I need to take the hat off? Should I convince him? Look at this hair. The hair of a survivor from a post-apocalypse. That's my haircut. That's the haircut I go for. Right. If I use the Sands of Infinity when a wizard casts Riptide, John, this is all you. What happens to the unit I pick to be the target of the spell? And the answer is subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by that unit until your hero phase after next. At the start of your hero phase after next, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. If that helps.
Yeah, so they just read the rule straight from the war scroll in that FAQ.
Someone's asking if my haircut, I lost a bet. But I did not lose a bet. This is just what I choose to do with my hair. Are you okay with that, John? You happy with that clarification?
Yeah, it's the rules for the war scroll, so yeah, absolutely.
Really clears it up in my opinion.
Glad they've just ripped those out together.
Sean Bryce says, I don't play AOS, but damn, I love the banter here over on YouTube. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube or watching back, please leave a comment or do a thumb or love hearts. Or if you're on Facebook, do love hearts. That's always fun, popping them up. There we go. Thanks, Gore Greg. Happy to see you too. Right, Nighthaunt. So that's everything to Idoneth Deepkin. Didn't change any rules. Didn't change Morsar Guard. Everything Deepkin absolutely fine. Apart from this.
Yeah, you were kind of hoping they'd do something with the electric shock, similar to the sling shields. But
well, now I know that they could do something as elegant as the Wild Rider fix. I was kind of hoping they'd do something like that, but lo and behold, they didn't.
Yeah, better not. Better luck next time, lads.
Yeah. Right, Nighthaunt. John, are you happy with all the changes? Because you're an Idoneth Deepkin player. Sorry, I should ask that.
No, I agree with Nathan. I think they should have implemented a rule so that the shock from the heals are on a model basis. I think that's more fair. Sure, electricity works like that, but I think it's probably too powerful, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair. Yeah.
You could add some counterplay against it, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
Tywin, that is a great show, and when I saw his hair, I was like, "That's great hair." Hi, Dave Frazier. Dave Frazier, my favourite internet troll. Right, Storm, Nighthaunt. Big changes in Nighthaunt, Nathan. Obviously, yeah, because as we know, unfortunately, Legions and Nagash kind of steal all the Nighthaunt units, yeah, and they use them. And then obviously that's caused a bit of an issue, getting Grimghast Reapers back for one command point. So they've done some changes. And those changes are: question, for the purpose of Death of Spirits, if a model is within 12 inches of my general or a friendly hero, do I roll 1 dice to negate the wound, or mortal wound, or 1 dice per friendly hero within 12 inches of the model? What would you say, Nath?
Yeah, 1 dice. Just 1 dice.
It's just 1 dice. John, have you ever experienced anyone trying to roll 2 dice?
No, but yeah, well, I guess not Nighthaunt though, but I have experienced players rolling 1 dice, getting on a 5-up, and then re-rolling that dice on a 5-up.
No, that's Daughters of Khaine. No, so sorry, that's Daughters of Khaine.
I know. but no, obviously you shouldn't do it like that. But if you compare it to Daughters of Khaine, if you stack heroes, it isn't as strong anyways. So
yeah,
I guess that's a good ruling. It's a good ruling.
Yeah. So that's Nighthaunt finished. We've done really well there. Next up, Stormcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do the Hallowed Knights only the Faithful ability apply to spells cast by friendly wizards? And the answer is yes. That's fine. It's not a big deal. It's just I'm just reading it out because someone's asked it, and it's not a big deal. However, the next one is a big deal. Does the Celestant Prime's Retribution from on high ability add 2 to the attacks characteristic of Gal Moraz for each turn that the Celestant Prime remains in reserve? Yes. So that's a bit of a boost, because some people were arguing that he didn't. John, what do you think?
I think the ruling is. I do, however, think that he should be set up in the normal Celestial Realm, not his own separate Celestial Realm, so it counts towards the amount of drops in a Stormcast army. But no, he gets his special place in his own Celestial Realm.
So he's on a bit of an ego trip, isn't he? The old the wielder of Gal Moraz.
And I mean, what I mean with that is, so at the moment you can deploy him up in the Celestial Realm, and then you can take another Stormcast unit and deploy it instead of have to deploy one on the board. As with the rest of the army, I don't know. I think they should have changed it, not being a special snowflake.
Yeah, he should have calmed down. But it just means Prime's really good. Prime's a great unit.
I think most people have been playing it that way.
I think most people have been playing that way. If I use a Lord Arcanum Cycle of Storm to heal a wound on a model instead of slaying it, what happens to any wounds that remain to be allocated? Continue to allocate them as normal. Cycle of Storm will not always stop a model from being slain, but it will require an extra wound to be inflicted in order to do so. Yeah?
Fine.
Yeah?
Well, to be fair, I mean, it went from broken to not good. I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Right, next up. So that's all Stormcast. That's fine. Some of you may have struggled to actually get onto the FAQs at certain points in the day because they linked it and then it all just went to the old FAQs. And I got a little bit triggered because it went to the old FAQ for the Stormcast, which still said, can you stack Gabriel Shawhart's charge ability? And it said yes. And then I was like, you fucks! Why do you keep letting this happen? And then I read and I was like, oh, They haven't even addressed it in this issue. They've just been like, it's fine. Like, we've answered you once. We're not going to keep hitting you with it. So that's still there. If that's, can I read Ironjaw straight after this? I can't. I'm doing it in order. Okay, I can.
You could.
All right, I'll do Ironjaws. All right, I'll do Ironjaws. So the most important thing about Ironjaws, Nathan, is when you clicked it, it went to the German interpretation. So it was the German version, the German PDF. Yeah, which was hilarious. I was in the Ironjaw chat. I was like, "Is this in German?" Everyone was like, "Yes," and it was like, obviously,
War. Mighty War called the Mighty Blitz.
It's called the Schnell, the mighty Schnell.
The Mighty Fast.
Yeah, the mighty Schnell.
And now it isn't Mighty Fast anymore.
Well, it's true. So they have affected the ability. But Nathan, you were wondering, can I use my Mighty War, Mighty Schnell, and or War command abilities to affect the same unit more than once in the same phase? Yeah. So can you basically do 9 Wars, as you once told a man as he just finished having sex with a young lady and burst into her room?
Yes.
And the answer is...
still can?
Oh! Drum roll, please. You can.
Oh, there you go.
How do you feel about that?
I apologised to him a little bit when I spoke to him in the morning.
I don't mean that.
Oh.
Oh, God. Yes, what do you think?
I mean, it's not like they're winning tournaments at the moment, so fair enough. The times I have stacked it and it has gone off. It's quite hard actually to get it off.
You have to say you do it 4 times.
Yeah. No, it's quite hard to get it off on the units in all the right places at the right time.
That's what she said.
And for it to actually affect the game. The 1 or 2 times that it has happened, well, the only time that it's happened for me was against the Daughters of Khaine army. So there was, I felt like for once I had an army that was fairly similar to what was across the table.
Did you win that game?
No.
Oh.
But I felt like I had a chance.
Oh, you felt like you had a chance if you had 9 Wars?
Yeah. I felt pretty good at that time.
Yeah.
But then I did also, I mean, it did feel a bit dirty as well, but it felt good.
Okay, good.
Dirty and good. So was that it for?
That's it. That's all you've got.
Okay,
oh, I'm so sorry. Gitley says accessing the FAQs reminded me of when you had to put in the unlock codes on an old game system. You know, like up, down, left, right, like A, B, C, D. Yeah.
I, D, D, Q, D.
Yeah. Yeah. I've unlocked
the
it.
Immortality code in Doom.
Tiny Dino has asked a question: does the Celestant Prime's retribution on high ability add 2 to the attacks characteristic of Gamraz for each turn that the Celestant Prime is in reserve? Answer: yes. So does this mean that you add +2 to his attacks every turn? A turn being a player turn, a battle round being a collection of 2 player turns, or a player turn each.
Battle round.
Yeah.
Well, it says every turn.
It does say every turn, and it doesn't say every battle round. So we will go back and reread that, and hopefully that will do something. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think you can only remain in reserve. So it's actually doing something. So you can only do that thing in your turn. You can't do that thing in your opponent's
Yeah, we just
turn.
need to read it.
Yeah.
But we haven't ate yet. But we will do before the end of the show. So yeah, I've skipped ahead now. So Ironjaws, Nathan, win rate of 38%. You now can't move as fast, but you can still punch as much as you did before. How do you feel about your chances of improving those stats?
Great, because they'll have nerfed everything else.
What? Good, sure. That's definitely true. So Granolites Chaos,
Especially those Wild Riders. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, I mean the Wild Riders have just been taking the kick in that they needed. Hellstriders to Slanesh now, they can't make you -1 to hit as previously thought.
I don't think they could before.
I didn't think they could before, but
It was a bit ambitious.
it was a bit okay.
Yeah. But
But now they can't.
Good.
So they're still a great unit though.
Yeah. I think people were pushing their luck before, so there we go.
I ordered two boxes of them.
What Wild Riders?
Yes, I get to throw them in the bin.
What, before that lad builds them for you?
yeah.
Thank you. Boom.
And actually, talking about that young man, Mick Wendell's pointed out. So Mick Wendell obviously won a 5-game. He won a 5-game tournament, went 4 majors and a minor victory at a tournament with Gutbusters. Incredible victory. Did really well. He obviously was worried that he'd actually got Gutbusters nerfed.
Oh yeah. So he's breathed the sigh of relief.
Breathed the sigh of relief because they haven't touched them at all. Weirdly, man-eaters and
it's alright, they've nerfed everything else, so Gutbusters are actually better.
Stop saying that because they haven't. Right, so we're still talking about Grand Alliance Chaos.
Well, they've nerfed Hellstriders.
What? They have nerfed Hellstriders.
Well, they've made it what they are. Yeah.
And they've also nerfed Ironjaws a bit.
It's like they removed stacking from the Hellstriders.
And they've removed stacking from Ironjaws.
One of the stackings.
One of the stackings.
They've left the other stacking. In fact, they've encouraged the other stacking.
They have encouraged the other stacking. If I give the mark of an all favoured from General's Handbook 2018, Demon Prince, and loads of other words, or Chaos Lord, get all 4 marks of Chaos abilities? And the answer obviously is no. Right. Legions of Nagash. Nathan, we're on to one of the big hitters. Yeah? Most popular army you're going to find in Age of Sigmar currently. Win rates out the yazoo, doing really, really well, podiuming loads of times. Big chat here, Jonathan. You excited? So, for the purposes of Deathless Minions, if a model is within 12 inches of my general or a friendly hero, do I roll 1 dice to negate the wound or mortal wound? Or 1 dice per friendly hero within 12 inches of the model? Jonathan,
it's the same as the other one.
It is the same.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, there is one thing that, like the first Legions of Nagash and I don't. Well, not one thing, but one of the things is how you bring back models. So Night Hunt have to be like more restrictive how they bring back models.
They have to bring it wholly within 12 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Legions of Nagash doesn't, and it's the same rule. But there's a FAQ in one book and not in the other one.
That's correct. If you're Legions of Nagash, you don't have to bring it in wholly within. But if you're Nighthaunt, you have to bring them back wholly within. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of
this is actually a good FAQ. This one, because it did in both places, not only one. Because if they did only one and not in Legion of Nagash players, I bet how some players would argue that you roll for each hero. Because they worded it in the Night Hunt book, but not in this one. So this was a good thing.
Good. All right, solid. There we go. That's a good thing. Number 1 is the Coven. Number 2 is the Coven Throne treated as a mount? Answer: yes. In addition, the Handmaidens and Spectral Hosts are treated as mounts for the rules purposes. Now, I don't want to say #MeToo, but saying that the Handmaidens are treated as mounts is disrespectful.
Why?
Cool.
So you consider whenever you get mounted, are you disrespecting the person that is mounting you then?
Every time that I can. Every opportunity. Nathan, you have a reputation for this.
What?
Let's all back away from this conversation. Let's all just...
This is why I can't be a homosexual. Because I can't mount something I respect. Right. Disclaimer, joke.
Yeah.
Carmageddon says, I think that the question was put into the FAQ. It's emblematic of the fact that Games Workshop don't even know how to play their own game, and people are letting them get away with it, which is inflating their sales. Now, we will do like a full review of the FAQ at the end of it. Yeah, things like that are ludicrous and don't really need clarity. But some people potentially do need clarity on those issues. But we will get to that to the end, right, Nath?
I think
John?
With this Coven Throne clarification, I think this is a bit bothersome. Because if similar things doesn't have a clarification, people will argue that they aren't mounts. So they better be consistent when they do stuff like that. Like this.
Yes.
Which I don't think they are.
Yeah, consistency is good. The Deathless Minions thing Anyway, right. Can I use a new model for the Nighthaunt Black Coach to represent a Legion Black Coach? So the Black Coach that you could previously buy from Games Workshop, or potentially can still buy, the older one that maybe is metal, you can use in Allegiance and the Nagash army. However, the new Black Coach is only usable inside of Nighthaunt army. And they're asking, can I use the sexy cool model in place of the old guff model? No offense if people love that model, by the way. The new one's incredible though. And their answer is, only if your opponent lets you. Which, by the way, is the answer to basically every fucking question in any game you're ever going to play. Nathan, do you mind if I use this? Can I use this live frog, instead of a bloat toad? Yes or no?
Sure.
There we go.
Sounds great. Can I use Jet as my War Crusher?
Right, so no one cares about that response. However, most importantly, Nathan, they took Grimgas Reapers and they said that they can no longer be allies in Legions and Nagash.
What?
So you know how previously you could ally them in?
Yeah.
They've said now you can't.
Oh, okay.
Only joking. April Fools, you still can. No problems, that's fine. You okay with that? John? Anyone?
So everybody I know within this hobby thought that.
Oh wait, no, sorry.
that thing.
Not allies. Sorry.
They're just.
Sorry. What I meant is usable within the Legions and the Nagash army. Yeah, that's
So
what
everybody I've spoken to regarding the Nighthaunt units being into the Legions of Nagash were included. This is including Legions of Nagash player think that it is a bad idea. Everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically everyone was like, make them allies, not make them be able to be used in a core Legions and Nagash army. So you could only ever have 400 points with them at best, right?
Yeah.
So that's the fix everyone wanted. That isn't the fix that Games Workshop changed. But they did make a change. They added 2 more units from Nighthaunt that you can use in Legions and Nagash army.
What, not as allies, just as.
Not as allies, just straight in.
Straight up dudes.
Yeah?
Fair enough.
So
Legions
they
are
didn't
getting
do
stronger
the
there.
one thing everyone wanted them to do. In fact, they did the opposite and they added some more shit in, which is ace. And what they added in was, and Nathan, this might trick you, they added the Guardian of Souls with a Nightmare Lantern and the Guardian of Souls with the Mortality Glass.
Oh fuck, those are pretty good as well.
John, did you listen to it?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Play a mono Nighthaunt army in Legions of Nagash. Why not?
Yeah.
So that's massive because we did a rundown a couple of weeks ago with Speckles, and he talked about the Mortality Glass, Guardian of Souls specifically, and if you guys listen to it, I, in my opinion, it's one of the most game-changing units available. Like, I was speaking to a couple of the guys that are going to the UK Masters, and I was like, look, no one's expecting this. You take 2 of those and you create like an 18-inch bubble if you can only charge on 1d6. That is huge. Yeah. And because you can only ever, like, it's just crazy good. So Legion and Nagash got a massive boost in this.
Yeah. Being able to take those 2 lads, definitely.
Specifically the guy with the Mortality Glass.
Yeah.
The Mortality Glass is bonkers. We did a rundown on it, so if you would guys go back through the podcast or go back through the shows and just listen to the Mortality Glass rundown we did, you'll hear why and how best to use it. So John, how do you feel about that? Good? Not good?
No, this is bad. This is really bad. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good this is a -10.
Yes, but it is also fucking hilarious. Like, it's such a good utility piece.
Well, you're going to see loads of those.
Yeah, well, they're hard to get. But
but you can convert them.
Plus, no one knows. If I just say this guy has a spooky ghost with a special item, I'll be like, yeah, that's fine.
Let's go a special. You can.
Only if your opponent allows you to.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, like anyone will notice. Also, Speckles has pointed out that hopefully, now some of you guys may be aware Speckles comes on our show a lot on a Monday. Wonderful person, awful at Warhammer though, and he has pointed out that potentially this might mean he can win 2, maybe even 3 games.
Yeah, I bet he can. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's exciting. So they didn't do the change where they made it less units available. They just made one of probably the best units. It's one of the most like Fanatics. If you ever played against Grots and you ever played against Fanatics, they are game changing in a way that you aren't able to understand until you play against them. Like with their ball control and their presence and the ability to stop charges. I would say that the Guardian Souls of Mortality Gas is potentially the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Hey whoa. He burned me on Twitter today. Made me sad, but also it's pretty funny, so don't let him get away with it. It's kind of like when you've got like a pretty boyfriend and he hits you and you're fine with it. Right, anyway, Nathan, this is some...
Sure.
This is John, this is exciting. Dwarves. We're talking dwarves.
What?
Dwarves.
Yeah,
Dwarden.
Yeah.
Specific...
This is a bit exciting, actually.
This is exciting. I actually think that this is really cool. Yeah? Right, so, page 120, Lords of the Lodge, Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've made it so that after you and me have deployed, if I've got a Lords of the Lodge battalion on a 2-up, I can seize the initiative. So even if you decide you're going to go first, on a 2-up, I can go first. That's great. Does show that they're not really aware of the armies that are doing particularly well, like Legions of Nagash and obviously Daughters of Khaine, who are quite... They're not exactly low-drop armies in most instances, and also... so they're not always deciding that wanting to go first. Also, if you're taking a Lords of the Lodge battalion, that reduces your number of drops. Therefore, your ability to go first is way higher, but still cool.
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you guys think?
Yeah. Sounds cool.
I think that... I mean, it's cool. It's a cool change. But as you just said, you take the battalion to get but
Yeah, exactly.
can be. Yeah. I think the other ability was probably better for them, Lords of the Lodge. But they could kind of like guarantee the double turn. Because force goal abilities overrule core rules.
Does John, do you guys have the Freemasons over there in Sweden?
Yeah. Oh, so we have the Freemasons, yeah. Or we have the... No, not the Free... I don't know if we have the Freemasons. But we have... Because they're very secret, aren't they? But we have... Actually, I live like next to a house. It's with the Templars.
You live next to the Crusading Templars.
Yeah. So there's like an old man society, like pat on the back club.
Yeah.
And my dad is in one of them up north, but they're not called the Templars. They're called the Druids.
Wait. We've just discovered that your dad lives further up north in Sweden than you do, and is a druid.
Yeah. When I was young, he could shapeshift into a very, very angry animal. I remember when he took my school books and threw them in the pan.
In a pan?
And burned them.
Why?
Because they were on the table where they shouldn't be.
So his decision was to not educate you better, but to burn your books.
Yeah. So like I had some friends over. They were like, "My dad can be angry, but your dad can be very, very angry." but now all the... This is older. All the what you call it? All the guy stuff, the guy juice went out of him. So now
Testosterone.
Yeah, that's the one. Now it's just calm as a lamb. But yeah, he could get really fucking angry.
That was such a trip that I wasn't expecting. That was way funnier than what I was going to say. I was going to be like, oh, you should find a Templars and then try and play Fire Slayers at like a little event there, and then be the Lords of the Lodge inside a lodge. But you've just... I mean, you nailed it with Guy Juice. We don't have to say anything else after that. This is fine. Okay, good. So, do you guys feel that the Lords of the Lodge ability, or as it's now forever going to be known, the Guy Juice Battalion, is... Because, and I want to read how this starts. Hot-Blooded Fury changed to... So previously it was called Hot-Blooded Fury, but now it's lack of Guy Juice. Do you think that's a good change? Are you excited? Do you think this is going to bring Fire Slayers back into the game?
I don't know if it'll change that much. Like you say, because they're taking that battalion anyway. It's reduced their drop, so there's a good chance they were going to be deciding who went first either way.
Yeah.
So, but you know, and then they do have to take the first turn if they decide to do that, don't they? They can't seize the initiative and force your opponent to, no. So it's not that flexible, but it's
Yeah. Tony Dino says, in a team tournament meta, it can be quite a big change for Fire Slayers. You can build them as a one-drop counter.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting. So yeah, if there's a one-drop Alpha Strike list, let's say a Dreadwood, that's a really good point, Tiny Dino. Great work. That's cool.
Yeah, that might be a thing, actually.
Yeah. Right, question. Can every unit of Auric Hearthguard use the Forge, Breath and Bulwark Molten Stone ability, Nathan, if they're within 10 inches of the Runespire? It's our thing! It's our battalion! And the answer is no. So you can't have +3 to a save, which is sad, because at one point we could. But now we can't. So, is that okay with everyone?
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
Right. Sylvaneth. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so that's a Fire Slayers. Do we think we're going to see Fire Slayers make a return? Do Fire Slayers even have any stats? Has anyone played with them in AOS 2?
Not many. You don't see them that often. Not as often as you did.
There's a guy in Sweden who runs them, and I think he tends to win like 2 or 3.
Is he Meg Aggro with his guy juice?
No, he's way calmer. I think he needs to get more pumped up and ready to go.
Okay.
Get more guy juice.
That's how you play them.
Yeah.
I think Fire Slayers are kind of good where they are. I just think there's some stuff that is too good, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure how it would change it. Maybe some fun with battalions, or because I don't think point squish is the way forward with Fire Slayers. Because then they don't become enjoyable with all those ginger guys.
I think you should just, in the realm of fire, they double their movement.
In the realm of fire.
Yeah, fuck you all. That's what I'd say. Right, anyway. Yeah, but they do lack variety. They're kind of like Carriage and Overlords, right? They lack variety, realistically, in units. So on to Sylvaneth. Now, I know you're excited about the Wildwood update and the fact that they can't put them within 6 inches of an objective now, like a Gloomtide Shipwreck.
Sure.
They haven't changed that, so you can still put them on top of an objective if you wish. Okay?
Fair enough.
Fair enough, but they did answer a hot button issue, which a lot of us were stressed about, which was, do the enemy units that Drycha Hammerdath attacks with a colony of Flitter Furies, I still can't say that, Flitter Furies, have to be visible to her? And the answer is yes. Also, Dano HG, thank you very much for subscribing. And Christian Snow, thanks for subscribing, I think on YouTube. If you guys are watching on YouTube, thanks very much. Gertat75 now says that John's name is now Guy's Use. Are you guys okay with that change or not?
Pass.
You're not bothered?
Yeah.
John, what do you think?
I'm okay with it. Considering the new Wildwood rules, I'm 100% okay with it.
Oh yeah, that makes it very difficult for her to attack things. She can't fly, can she?
No.
No, she can't fly.
Even though the Flitter Furies can fly.
Yeah. But an arrow can fly. But then an arrow that's alive, can that fly and hit? And I'd like to refer you to an earlier part of the FAQ. Just use your common sense. So Nathan, if I have a colony, Cameron Thompson, thanks for subscribing. If I have a colony of sentient flies in my body, using common sense and what happens in the real world, can that attack you without me seeing you or not?
Fuck off.
Fuck off! John, have you got a rebuttal, or would you like to ring a friend, specifically your druid dad, and see if he knows the answer?
I'm using common sense and parasites. Normally, you can't control your parasites, so I'd say no. Because then you have to throw the parasite at that target.
That's true. I had a guy live on my couch for a couple of years when I was younger, and after a while we had to throw him out because he just wouldn't leave.
Did you see where he landed?
We didn't throw him out, like not physically, like that would have been mean.
So he didn't go where you wanted him to go.
No, that's the point about he was the parasite.
So you didn't see where he landed. So you were shooting something that wasn't visible to you.
Oh, that's a really good point. I have no idea where he is now. And now you've made it make sense to me. Thank you.
Did he go where you wanted you? Did he go where you wanted him to go? You don't know, do you?
That's the point. Yeah, you're right. You guys have you've absolutely clarified this for me. Thank you.
So,
Asaf Games Workshop. So
shoot everything.
Yeah, shoot everything. And then that's all the updates for Sylvaneth. We're good. Apparently they're fine apart from that. However, there has been an army that's been causing some issue in the tournament scene.
Yeah.
And they are the Seraphon.
Yeah, them fuckers.
They have been causing all sorts of mischief. Specifically, Chameleon Skinks, Chameleon Ambush, add the following sentence at the end of the rule. Summoned units can be set up in hiding. So you can't summon some Chameleon Skinks and then set them up in hiding. When you summon them, you've got to put them on the board.
Fair enough.
That has been an issue up to date.
Yeah, I've never even thought of that.
John, you ever thought of that?
No, because that's the point. That's the point of hiding. That I shouldn't think about it. So, no.
Okay, good. Some clarity here. Saurus Ashloth Bannerbearer, Proud Defiance, change the rules to you can reroll hit rolls for friendly Seraphon units while they're wholly within 12 inches of this model. So that is unfortunately a nerf to our glorious Seraphon brothers.
Yeah.
So that would mean that they now, yes, previously it was just units within, not wholly within, but now, yeah, they got to be wholly within. So that's a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my Seraphon brothers. All hail the Block Toad. And then we'll deal with these all together. If a unit of Ripidactyl Riders is summoned after the first hero phase, is the Block Toad still placed on the battlefield? And the answer is no.
Oh.
So you only get as many Block Toads as units you put into your army list. So what do you guys think of that? As how do you think that's going to affect Seraphon?
I don't think that rule was meant to affect them in any other way than it already is. I just think they want to clarify how it's meant to be played.
No. I don't think the Blood Toad thing is... I mean, obviously most people are summoning skinks anyway, not Ripidactyls, so I don't think it's that much of an issue. The Astroloth Banner Bearer to hit bubble is not that great, but I think most people were using it for shooting anyway, so I don't think that's that much of an issue.
You can park him next to them.
Yeah.
But it is
normally they'd build a battery with like Bastillodons and then this guy giving it the reroll. So yeah, it would have been nice, but it is what it is. So,
yeah. And as Mr. Hector says, we'll talk about battalions later for Seraphons, but effectively they've also taken some battalions away from us as well.
Have they?
Yep. So,
what's the battalion?
Mr. Hector will put in the chats the specifics for you guys because he's an angel. But however, obviously the Astaroth Banner Bearer is a bit of a change. The battalion thing's a massive change. But thankfully, they've clarified that the Daughters of Khaine have to be wholly within the range of, with Hagnar, how you get the 5+ instead of a 6+. So they've clarified that you have to be wholly within range for that now.
Good.
That's not true.
Oh, fuck.
Jet looks really disappointed. Jet looks so fucking mad right now.
Yeah. Wankers.
Yes, they haven't. So they've clarified the Astroloth Banner Bearer, but obviously not the Hagnar Queen. So, an issue. So yeah, what they did was that they got rid of, in Grand Alliance Chaos and Grand Alliance Order, they got rid of all the War Scroll battalions that haven't been updated, basically. So a bunch of Seraphon War Scroll battalions have basically gone the way of the dodo. They've got the way of the dinosaurs. I should have made that joke earlier. That was so obvious. It's just embarrassing.
So
I didn't.
It's just Order ones and Chaos ones. Did you say?
Yes. I didn't read there wasn't. They didn't actually update Mixed Destruction because, as always, they clearly fucking forgot it existed.
Yeah, well, there's no battalions in Destruction anyway, so it's fine.
So yeah, what do you guys think, John?
Depends on if they remove the old Stormcast battalion that they insist having included in the General's Handbook, but not in their army book. What's it called?
But it's in the General's Handbook is the point. If it's, yeah.
So if the battalions are in the General's Handbook,
then you're good.
they're good. And if they're not, fuck off.
Fuck off. Yes. Oh, is it only for Seraphon? Are you sure, Morgan Storm Smasher? Because I thought it was in Grand Alliance order, so I'll double check that in a second. Worth checking. We'll come back. That's why I said I'll come back to it at the end. But pretty big for Seraphon, losing some of those.
Do the Chaos Dwarfs battalions as well? Is there not in the?
No, sorry. We actually have a battle tome. It's just a freely available battle tome
compendium.
via Forge Worlds. So how dare you, sir?
So, like, what about the
I saw it
dispossessed
today. It's exactly
battalion?
in the compendium section of the app. Yeah.
No, it's just weirdly because Forge World don't know what they're doing. They wrote that it's a compendium of rules, not the compendium, which is like it's like a collection of
mistakes were made though.
Oh, there we go. Yes. So apparently it was only for Seraphon. In fact, specifically only Seraphon. Are you sure? I will double check. Anyway, Seraphon got the dick kicked, which is unfair because they already lost. They already took a dick kicking. Next up, Daughters of Khaine, though, Nath and John, get ready. The big issue currently. Yeah. Go on, John.
They can't be kicked in the dick.
Who?
Daughters of Khaine.
Well, the Doomfire Warlocks can, but the rest of the army can't. So.
I actually have a theory about this. And I wanna be specific. Now I know Collie's here. I know Mick's really excited about this, and a whole bunch of you really excited about Daughters of Khaine and the high skill cap army that they are. So, page 76, Morathi. Now the same unit can't be picked to benefit from the command ability more than once a hero phase. Morathi often not the general, but obviously she doesn't need to be the general to use that, but fine. 78 and 82, Slaughter Queen and Slaughter Queen on Cauldron of Blood. I was so excited about this. I read their names and I was like, go up 40 points. The same unit can be picked to benefit from this command ability more than once per hero phase.
Cool.
Right. And then finally, do any wounds or mortal wounds inflicted on Morathi at the start of the battle round by an endless spell, for an example, Nathan, like
Pendulum.
Count towards her wound limit because of the special rule that she has that is in effect on her War Scroll battalion. War Scroll, sorry. And the answer is no to both questions. So you can do mortal wounds to her during the...
and you can't heal her.
And you can't heal her, yeah. Can things that heal wounds
at the start of the battle round be used to heal wounds on Morathi? No.
No.
Why can't you heal her?
So you can do the pendulum, but you can't do Life Swarm to her.
Oh, fuck her then.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah, cool.
So, what's really exciting is that's all the updates. That's all the issues that they thought were to do with Daughters of Khaine. There were no other issues. So that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And here comes my theory.
Yeah. Bring it.
Yeah, and after this, in the chat, I would like you all to give me your feedback on how you feel about those changes to Daughters of Khaine. Now, John, in Sweden, when you go to a Warhammer event, yeah, give me a demographic breakdown.
So I'd say 5 or 6% of the players are
Druids.
hearing impaired.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's true actually.
All right. What I mainly was getting at is it's mainly dudes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. And
100%.
Yeah. And at most of my tournament experiences, it's been at least 60 to 40% dudes to women at most of the gaming experiences I've been at least. So obviously representation for women in Warhammer has been quite low. Yeah? So my theory is, which isn't Games Workshop just want to sell rules or they don't pay attention to the stats and they don't have any clue what the fuck they're doing with their own game, which would be like, that could be another theory. But I hear hooves clop, 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 clop. I see zebras. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Fuck. I hear hooves, I see zebras. You are on drugs.
If Nathan would have said that, it would have been understandable.
Exactly. So, in my opinion, what they're doing is that they're having the most successful army be all ladies, yeah, with the exception of obviously gender-neutral Doomfire Warlocks, and then they're saying to women, "Hey, you can come and play this game. The most powerful people in it are ladies."
Or ghosts.
Or ghosts. And I will touch on that later because I did want to say this, but yeah, or ghosts. But women or ghosts. And then the follow-up to that is because a lot of the guys that work at Games Workshop aren't probably that savvy with women, they might think that they're as real as ghosts. Do you see where I've gone there?
Yeah. Where did the zebras come in?
Well, it's a famous phrase. I hear hooves. Yeah. You don't think zebras, you think horses, right? That's a famous phrase.
Okay.
It's meant to be like, if it's obvious, it's obvious. Like what they have, the reason that they haven't changed any of the, like, sorry, I'm just going to lower the timbre of my voice a little bit. The reason that they haven't done any effective change to balance the game is because they're not fucking capable of doing it. That's why. But this entire, so far, hour-long and 30-minute conversation between two of my close two friends is to just have a bit of a laugh and a joke about it and talk about the zebras in the room as opposed to the quite clearly fucking obvious horses.
There's an elephant in there.
They don't have hooves. That's the issue, right?
Elephants are really quiet when they walk through the bush. You don't hear them.
So, what do you think about my theory?
Like a sneak
It could be camels. That's my point.
No,
What do you think?
elephants are
Could
really
be
quiet.
pigs.
Let's not talk about the hooves statement.
Well, you brought it up.
Oh my god. What I'm trying to get at is, do you think that they're trying to make women be the most popular army and the best performing army so as to better cater for women gamers?
No.
I don't know, but why do you call pigs feet and not hooves?
No, you don't. You call them trotters.
Oh my god.
Trotters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trotters. Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
call them hooves. Trotters.
Pigs have got trotters.
Yeah.
Trotters. A lesson a day.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you would have liked to have seen them do something, although it's quite difficult without changing war scrolls, but yeah, you would have liked to have seen them do something about them fucking hags and shit like that, but
No. They're representing those women. And they're daughters of Khaine. Now, Heralicious just keeps making a point. I want to make sure $60 witch elves won't sell themselves. That's a really good point. I want to point this out. Games Workshop will not change anything to do with Daughters of Khaine until it's a 50-50% women to men split in how we play Warhammer at events. I'm almost certain that's the plan. Yeah? Now, do I agree with this? No. Do I think this is real? No. It's a joke. I'm having fun. But that's my. They did say they don't want to change rules in FAQs or GHB except when it's Seraphon because fuck you.
yeah,
Says Tiny
and Wild
Dino.
Riders.
Huh?
And Wild Riders.
Yes.
And
Wild Riders.
Thunderers. So, that's true, Slanesh. Slanesh, you could hear Slanesh going clip-clop, clip-clop, because they might have hooves or something.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Are we still on this conversation about? Do you?
No, for ladies.
Are you sure they're not trotters?
Would you two like to do an entire show about animals that have hooves and don't have hooves? Do you want to do a chariot bait?
Pig's feet.
Yeah, no, it's called trotters as well. There's
Okay.
there's a big antelope in the bush called an eland, very similar to Jonathan's surname actually.
Oh, nice.
But it makes a clicking sound with its joint when it walks through the bush. I can remember doing a game count and hearing the elands clicking up to the waterhole.
Your life sounds like a mixture between Enid Blyton and Jumanji.
Do you know what my last name means in English?
No, what does it mean?
Oath Groove.
Oath Groove.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oath
like,
Groove.
Yeah, like a grove, like a
Oh, Grove.
like a
Yeah.
yeah.
What's
Not disco grove, but the thing
Like-
you have in the woods.
Yeah. Like a little group of trees, basically. Yeah. So an Oath Groove. Do you know what my surname means in English? Oh, it is English, but you know
What does it mean?
Priest cottage.
Not really English. What again?
What, a Scottish priest?
No. Prescott means priest's cottage.
Oh,
There
nice.
you go.
I'd also
What
like to
is yours?
apologise to everyone who's having to listen to this.
Do you know what yours is? Is yours French?
Follow me?
Yours.
I'm adopted. Most people don't know that. So I was adopted. So my birth name is Simmons, Simmons.
Oh,
Don't know what that means.
Probably
So
French.
my adoptive name is Simon.
French. 'Cause
Yeah.
you are, but
I was an orphan child, which makes loads of sense, right? Why can't I fast forward, says Awo? I apologise. I promised to edit this part out.
Sure.
And say that again, John.
Simond. It originates from Simond, patron mythic, or either. It's from the medieval person named Sigmund. That's where Simmons comes from.
Sigmund? Sigmar?
Sigma.
Am I Sigmar? I'm confused.
You're Sigmar's abandoned child.
Right. Anyway.
It's from an old Norse victory. So when they defeated the Norse.
Okay. Sweet.
We've had a great question over on YouTube. If a tomato is a fruit, does that make ketchup a smoothie? Let's move on. Let's get on with what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, Daughters of Khaine have had no impactful effects to either nerf them or improve them.
Well, they've got to keep up with those legions of Nagash.
They do, who have had a bonus now.
got some new units to help them out. So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so
Those two.
So Legions of Nagash have got better. Daughters of Khaine have plateaued in their ability, but Seraphon, Ironjaws have made sure that they've been affected negatively.
Yeah.
And then finally, we're on to Malign Sorcery.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a quickie here. Ketchup isn't a smoothie because it's milk based or cow based, I guess, with yogurt or milk or ice cream.
Yeah, but I can have a smoothie with almond milk.
You fucking Frenchy.
The key word here is milk.
You can get milk from an almond. It's just harder.
Yeah,
But it's still
but
milk.
you can't make ketchup with milk.
Right, let's move on. Yeah. Also, Lofthammer says my surname is Haley, which means travelling herb salesman. Tristan Gray's in the house and he says hi. Tomlet says I love this. We just need off-topic chat some nights. All right, deal. Because it's Christmas Eve next week. We'll just do. That's what we'll do. We'll do it after. Let's just finish the FAQ and then we will stay online until everyone wants to fucking go home. How does that sound?
All right then. Malign
Yeah.
Sorcery.
Malign Sorcery.
Yeah.
Right. Save up all your questions not related to Warhammer for later. Right, page 72. Spells of Gran. Mirror Pool. Add the following sentence. It may not move in the subsequent movement phase. Yes!
Good, really good. It's good that they tidy up the realm rules as well if they want such to play them.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great. Should never have been in there in the first place. It's only taken them 6 to 7 months, but that's fine. I respect you when you do something. However, I keep getting told that I should. Anyway, never mind. It's going to derail us. I'm not going to. Artifacts of Power.
Plop.
The Jade Diadem changed the rules to if the unmodified save roll for an attack that targets the bearer is a 6, heal 1 wound allocated to the bearer. It's not a big deal. It's fine. No one
Cool.
cares.
Sounds good.
Next up, get ready. Yeah. Polyjuice Potion, or as it's known, the Doppelganger Cloak.
Yeah.
Change the rules to text. Once per battle, at the start of the combat phase, you can say that the bearer will put on the cloak. If you do so, the bearer cannot be chosen as the target of attacks made with melee weapons unless the bearer has made any attacks earlier in this phase. So, you can only use it once per battle now.
Cool.
That's my noise for, like, excitement. What do you think?
That'll reduce the amount of those fuckers. Good.
Which is awesome. John, are you happy with this?
I think they could have done it a little bit differently. I'm happy that they changed it, I think. But I think they should have done it so if you're in combat, you will always be able to pile in if you're able to. You don't need to say, okay, I'm done. Now you get to do all yours. And then the doppelganger obviously baits one of my units out. But that baited unit still gets attacked. But it's a change to it, and I'm happy with it.
And to quote my favourite Twitch streamer who isn't us, it's now only once per... Oh, fuck, I forgot it. What was it? What is it? Once... Oh, he said something funny like once per interactive thing. I've forgotten what it was. Okay. It doesn't matter. It was very funny though. It's on Twitter. You should read it.
On Twitter?
Yeah, I liked it. It made me laugh.
Good.
Forgot what it is. Fucking terrible at this, aren't I? Anyway, that's great. I never really was bothered about the doppelganger cloak, FYI, but it triggered some people. Shut up, John. Go draw some pictures, you dick. Right, so... right, page 84, Artifacts of Power. The Talisman of the Watcher changed last sentence to you can reroll save rolls of 1 for that unit until the end of the phase. No one cares.
Cool.
Right. Some abilities. So now we're into the Q&A section.
That one is actually quite big because you could potentially get your whole army to reroll once. Because before this, it didn't say until the end of the phase.
Okay, so you could tag them and then they'd be rerolling ones for the rest of the battle. Yeah. So that's good. Good. Tidied up. Nice.
Oh, is it the one we were talking about where you can just give everyone reroll ones?
Yeah.
Oh, what a fucking! If anyone had done that to me, I'd tell them to fuck off.
Everybody. You get a reroll. You
get a reroll. The Oprah item. Yeah. Everyone gets a candle. All right. Rob is a stolen child. He could be your real dad. Emma has hands. Thanks very much for subscribing. Right. Some abilities allow a model to know additional spells, including additional endless spells. In a pitched battle, can you use these abilities to cast endless spells if you did not spend the points for those endless spells? In addition, can these abilities be used to cast endless spells that can normally only be cast by the wizards that have the specific keyword? What do you think?
No.
Obviously not. Oh. John?
Alright, fair enough.
No.
Okay. Right. That's good.
Cool.
Sometimes an ability will allow a model to attempt to unbind a spell. Does this allow them to dispel an endless spell?
Well, it's not been allowing them to beforehand.
It hasn't at any point allowed them to beforehand. And so why would it now?
Yeah.
So no. Right, if a wizard has an ability that increases the number... This is a great one, because I'm happy about this. If a wizard has an ability that increases the number of mortal wounds inflicted by the spells they cast, does this ability also apply to abilities of any endless spells that the wizard casts? Yes or no?
No. The endless spells are quite different to the normal spells, so yeah.
John?
No, you need to pay the points for it.
Well, previously, though, people were doing it, because specifically they were taking the Stormcast Stick, which added +1 to all mortal wounds that you would do from spells.
Oh.
And then they would cast the Comet, which is a spell. But so now, I think, realistically, what you need to... I think they're clarifying that spells that you get in a spell lore from a battle tome are spells. Endless spells, even though they include the word spells, are not spells.
Yeah.
So you have spells.
And endless spells.
Yeah. And they are basically completely different. Yeah. Also, Mr. Rector's pointing out quantic spells, they're different. They're what I do when I'm trying to have sex.
Okay.
I light 2 candles, take 2 blue pills, have a great time.
Quantic, isn't that when you handle something that's really like small?
No, that's...
I'm not saying you're wrong.
And I'm not saying I'm right. And that's where we're at. Yeah. So sadly, the stick... Go on.
Regarding this one, I think it's good that they separate them maybe. So that you clarify which is what. But I do think those room priests should be able to dispel endless spells, so they don't have to ally in encounters, even though encounters are really fucking good.
Yeah. Pokey John points out they should have called endless spells something different, like incantations, or like Rita Sanchez says, endless magic. And I couldn't agree with that more, but the horse hasn't even bolted from the... I don't know why I'm doing horse analogies all day, but...
Clip clop.
Clip clop. The gates are open, and there are zebras running all the way. We are way past this at this point, unfortunately. Yeah, that's right. Tantric spells. No, tantric equations. Quadratic equation spells. Anyway, so this is good. I like this because I specifically hated that stick. Do abilities that provide protection against the effects of spells or wounds inflicted by spells also provide protection against the effects of wounds inflicted by endless spells? And the answer is yes. So, what they did, Psycho, thanks for subscribing for 4 months in a row. Yeah, what they did before was they clarified that endless spells and spells are different, and now what they've done is say that they aren't different.
No, well, the thing is, so it's like the dwarf banner that protects you from magic. So it's still magic. A spell.
And how's it not magic before?
What do you mean?
So if I cast a spell,
Yeah.
am I using magic?
Yes, but
Gandalf.
yeah, but so like the spell. If I was doing an arcane bolt, yeah, that's the spell from my own magic.
Jonathan Atlan, thanks for subscribing.
That does that thing, yeah. So I'm either I boost my own magic blood or aura or man juice or whatever it is that you've got. But then when you're casting an endless spell, you're like summoning a thing, and then it just does its own thing.
So my question is...
So you don't put your man juice into it.
Yeah.
It's just like it's from the realm, and it just comes up and does its thing.
Well, you put a little bit of man juice in, and then it becomes like a kid.
Mana. Yeah, so my question is, because I've always been, my whole life I've been into like third world fantasy genres,
Third world.
Well, the separate kind of like Lord of the Rings, human-esque.
Like Zimbabwe.
Yeah. So is it a bit like the Wheel of Time? Yeah, when you have like the female stream of magic or the male stream of magic. Yeah, but obviously that was tainted by the Dark Lord. Or is it more like Raymond E. Feist style magic, where you have like high and low tiers disciplines of magic? Yeah, or is it more Harry Potter, where they're like learned disciplines as opposed to innate magic? Or is it Lord of the Rings, where it's more innate based magic, like elvish magic, and obviously all of that? Like,
it's more like the magic that you find in the mortal realms from the Age of Sigmar.
My problem is
not like any of those other places.
No,
none
of those.
None of the third world stuff. It's just from
third world stuff.
It's First World War. First World.
So First World War?
No, First World. Problem.
I'm gonna clear poverty.
Okay, so my next question is this, and this is a bit of a plea to the community because I'm not really sure. If anyone's old enough to remember, in like the 90s, there was a guy who would show you on TV how they would do magic from like the magic circle. He would like reveal the magician's secrets. So he'd do like the sawing someone in half, then he'd reveal how they would do it. It used to be on the telly. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. I need someone in the community now to explain to me spells in Age of Sigmar, because it seems like endless spells and spells are both separate and the same at the same time.
Well, they are separate, but they are also both magic. So if you've got protection against magic, it's going to work against magic from endless spells or from spells.
By the way, there's some hot gossip about this guy who told people the wizard secrets on Twitch. Mick Wendell thinks he was an asshole.
Traitor to my kind.
The masked magician, that was him. Yeah. So I need someone to do the masked magician thing, but for Age of Sigmar. Could you do that?
No. Fuck off.
Okay. All right. Well,
Brad's question was good as well, I think.
What was it?
However, the spells triggers Sylvaneth Wildwood.
Let's say that again. Wait, let me go read it.
However, endless spells trigger Sylvaneth Wildwoods.
Wait, do they trigger endless wildwoods?
I don't know.
Whoa, so if a spell is cast...
Yeah, it's still a spell that's
Yeah,
cast.
but I can't add any mortal wounds to that spell.
Yeah, but that's because it becomes an
do
entity.
you even trigger?
It's an entity of its own.
But do the woods even trigger?
Yeah, because is it a spell or an endless spell?
Well, if it's cast near the wood, yes, it triggers the wood.
Why does it trigger the wood?
Because it's magic.
Why?
It is magic.
Which magic though, Wizard Gandalf?
Who gives a fuck which magic
I
it is?
literally
The
Games
woods-
Workshop do, because they've written 2 different answers.
But it's still magic is magic. It could be like...
Magic is not magic. Dr. Vulcan has donated $10 to the show. He says, quick question, Glockian or Archeon? I'm going to just let him override this conversation. For a mob slaves to darkness Nurgle aligned force, which one is funlists? Archeon.
Gotkin.
John, decided vote.
What?
If you're going to take a slaves to darkness Magickin army, would you take Archeon or Glockin?
Archeon.
Fuck you guys.
Nailed it.
Glotkin. Ignore those 2 wankers. Take the Glotkin.
Nathan, another question. Why are they called endless spells? Yeah. And John, this is a great question. For Grima, thank you so much. Why are they called endless spells when you can end them?
Because they just go to sleep and then you wake them up again later.
That's not endless, is it? It's
Yes.
not. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
If I didn't,
Stuff can sleep.
Because I tell you what, in my cupboard I have a box of endless candles to say, oh yeah, they'll last forever as long as you never light them.
Yeah. It's true. You should
I'm
sell
alive
those.
forever as long as I don't die.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Mr. Ector. Again, referring back to the previous FAQ, if you go back and read, if you just agree with common sense, you'll be able to, whatever works in the real world, hashtag the mass magician. Right. So, some spells require you to pick a point on the battlefield within a certain distance of the caster and then draw a line from that point back to the caster. Can this point be measured from Umbral Spell Portal? And if it can, is the line drawn back to the caster? And the answer is yes to both questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
What? What?
So, John, I just want to point out John's
That's not
point.
reasonable.
Pardon me?
That's not reasonable, is it?
It's common sense.
Yeah. So if you if you raise a point somewhere, and then everything between you and that point is affected by a thing, but then if you raise that point between out through a portal, then it still sends back its homing beacon to you.
No,
Yes.
because it initiates from the caster, and
Yeah.
that's not from you. That's from the portal. Then it should be drawn back to the portal. Prepare your anus for.
Thanks, Dr. Vulcan.
Shit. No, this is not good. This is a bad one.
So what
I think
spell is that?
they're-
Which spells does this affect anyway?
Well, so you can do it. You can do it.
Amaranth orb.
You can do a 31-inch amaranthine orb. That's what they're talking about.
Okay. What's that?
This is not.
It's a death spell.
It's like
It's a death spell.
more important. It's more important that people get to abuse the spell portal than like having some sort of what do you call it when you can't even. No, I can't even. This is not good. This is bad.
Yeah. So is it mainly that one spell?
Well, no, there's a bunch of different spells realistically, because like the clarity means that obviously people are now looking at clarity on that rule means people are now looking at all the different types. Obviously, we're doing this on the day. It's come out like 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. So they're looking at all the varieties of different spells which are included in points and then affecting it into so like a weird knob shaman vomit.
Yeah, but that's
Zemini's-
vomiting. So that would be vomiting into the portal, and it comes out the other portal. That sounds fine.
Yeah,
That's not how you do it, do you? Don't you just? Oh, you pick a unit with that one, don't you?
No, you just shoot out a line 3d6 or something like that. 2d6. So basically,
and then you
you'd
draw
be-
it back to the caster.
No. You just shoot a line of vomit out, and everything that it goes over takes damage.
I never knew you were so emotionally invested in the magic phase. Like you normally sit
I
back,
hate
but you're
magic.
now stood up.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like ready. You're like, I fucking love the magic phase.
I've got into it, man.
You got into the magic
I
phase.
used to hate magic in 8th edition.
Yeah.
It was fucking...
Yeah, it was
Except for
dumb in 8th edition.
Yeah. Except for Itchy Nuisance. Best spell ever.
Best spell ever was actually Croak spell.
Fuck
So the best
Itchy
spell.
Nuisance.
Also, Chuckabutty says, I can't believe they didn't buff Stormcast to a 0 back. Fuck OS boys, I'm switching to the Horus Heresy. He says. Not constructive. But he does actually say, Chuckabutty did say that he thinks that he might be the only person in the world who is potentially able to beat Speckles in a 1v1. They want to have a who's the worst at Warhammer. Obviously, Speckles being the worst Warhammer player in the world.
Oh, beat him at that.
Yeah. So Chuckabutty wants to beat him at Age of Sigmar. Yeah.
Oh no, because then he wouldn't be the worst Warhammer player. Then he would just be the worst because he can't even be the worst Warhammer player.
just be the worst.
Shit.
Right, so some of the things that got changed was you were able to take, so they clarified some stuff. Oh no, actually, that was a Beast of Chaos thing, don't worry. It was when you couldn't get the right FAQs because the website, for a long while today, a lot of people just stood their phone saying, how do I access this FAQ? And then loads of people was like messaging and stuff, so that all got sorted. So well done, community, helping each other out there. Fantastic job. And that's basically it. Seraphon lost their battalions. Don't forget about that. So sad news.
Which is odd, that one. That seems an odd one.
It does seem odd, but it would make you think that maybe there's... So... Right, okay, so let's talk about it now. Let's get to the nuts and bolts, and hopefully you guys have had a cracking couple of hours listening to us talking about it. So let's we could be serious for a minute or two.
Yeah.
So overall, John, what do you make of the? And this is to everyone on the Twitch chat, everyone on YouTube is watching, and leave comments before and after whatever medium you're watching on. What do you think of it as an FAQ overall? Do you consider it to be the big disappointment? What do you think?
Don't really think it is anything, to be honest. It's the game haven't changed anything. They didn't clean up stuff like the thing I mentioned before with how Legion of Nagash summoning works versus Night Dawn, how they set up modes and stuff. I don't know. 6 months it feels a bit lackluster, to be honest.
A bit light.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's your thoughts. Is there anything that you love from it?
A big high five to the guy who learned Games Workshop what Holy Within means. But I mean, I don't know. It feels like they're moving in the right direction. But
does it? Well, like, where? Where does it? What? Because they can now define what Holy Within is.
Well, at least they didn't go over.
That one. They didn't go over the board and fucked something up, so it's unplayable. #Wild Riders. But nobody really cares about them anyways. But I like that they're doing the FAQ and the points at the same time. Actually, I think that's a good thing. But I think they can be more. The erratas in particular can have more impact than they've had in this one.
Okay.
The erratas are the actual like rule change, and the FAQs is just the questions. So good because the erratas can have just as big of a difference on the impact of the game as points can, because it effectively changes how a war scroll works. And I think they could have tuned up the knobs on some part, or tuned down, like Daughters Khaine. Like, don't be afraid to make the Witch Brew into a command ability, or whatever. The Death Summoning, I think it's very. They don't have an imagination with that one compared to the other ones. You just spend a command point and get a unit back. Some play with the graveyards instead would be cool, like how they get to some, however they control the graveyards and not. But there's so much things they can do that they haven't done.
All right. Okay.
And most of all, it won't change the. I don't think it will change the win ratio or anything for the next 6 months.
I think it might. I think it might switch between Legions and Nagash being on top now over Daughters, just because of those particular characters. Right, so let me read out what the guys in the chat saying, and then Nathan, it's going to be you up. A small conservative FAQ, says James McPherson. Let's make sure. I wouldn't have called it the big FAQ. It's okay, says Zyko, but I feel for Seraphon. Dan says, I was expecting more. Overall, I think the FAQ is fine. Not great, however, but that made too much of a problem. Mick Wendell says, it's a big bag of shit. Tiny Dino, they hyped it up to be a big Christmas FAQ. They did next to nothing except nerf Ironjaws. Don't forget, they also nerfed Seraphon, Tiny Dino. Haywo missed every balancing change that needed to be an FAQ, hit random stuff instead. Fireslayer's a savage, says Chuckabutty, because he messaged me earlier he was like, Rob, oh my god, you can seize on a 2+, that's fucking savage, which is exactly the kind of customers I think that Games Workshop are trying to swing for. Yeah, right, you can see
you seize. Now what?
I've painted up this army, I've seized the initiative. What happens now? Does that mean I've won the game?
They can't put too much in FAQs, as that means General's Handbook has less contents. As full
The other guy says I was going to give you the first turn anyway.
LOV, I'm glad nothing major changed, but they could have tweaked the 3 offenders, which would be Gabriel Shawheart, charging Grim Gas Reapers, and Daughters of Khaine. I would say also the getting 400 points Sequitors back on a 5+ is also a bit of an issue.
And the Idoneth Soul Scryer, that his charge bonus stacks is a bit weird.
Yeah, it's a bit much. And Eels could have given 1 point.
Nobody likes that, apart from the ones who are abusing it.
Weirdly. Cal says, don't forget the Rumour Engine combined with Seraphon battalions, so potentially there could be a Seraphon battle tone on the way. I'd rather minor changes to flying no longer applies to all phases but one, Cygnus Maximus. That's going to be my point when I get to it at the end. In fairness, Doppelganger change and a roll of a 6 clarification were good. I agree. I think there was some great change. I'll say mine in a bit, but that's from Mick. Mirapool and Ugly Shadow move change was good for match play. I couldn't agree more. I think that's excellent. Really happy they're gone. We've not moved in any direction, says Gitley. I would say we've moved slightly towards the positive. Maybe. There's a problem with expectations. Games Workshop built expectations with a community post for the new model of FAQs that was further inflated by calling it the Big Donger FAQ for winter, and then basically nothing changed, which is, I think, fair. There have been patch style changes in FAQs before, so the precedent is there, says Haywo. For instance, some current issues were caused by some, for instance, Grimgas Reapers were because of an FAQ. Morgan Sourcebash says, I would have done more. Vulcan, they succeeded in not messing up badly, which is rare nowadays, so I'll give them a pass. Couldn't agree. There's loads more stuff. Paul Bastion Games, I'm surprised they didn't bring back rerolls. And then also the Wild Rider buff. Make Wild Riders great again. Nathan, what do you think about the FAQ? What's your overall?
Well, yeah, I agree with the people that are saying, obviously, I think the main changes that they've done are good. So, clarifying the Holy Within thing, the realm spell, the Malign Sorcery stuff.
Don't you tell me that they've clarified what magic is, because now I am more confused than ever.
No, but to me it's as clear as a bell.
Magic is magic. You're not supposed to understand it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Nathan's probably more magically inclined than I am.
I am. It's as clear as a bell. Have you ever seen how clear a bell is? It's that
no, it's
clear.
opaque. You can't see through bells.
Exactly. So
okay.
It's as clear as a bell.
Yeah.
So, no, I think the things that have changed, that they have talked about, most of them are good. I mean, some of them seem a bit weird, like the Wild Rider thing, but fair enough. If they want to do that, and the Heartseeker arrow.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
that one guy who clearly was one of the guys who they were playing against. Like in the rules team, one of them plays Wanderers, and he kept using the Heartseeker arrow. And then the other guy's like, "You are so fucked when I write this FAQ.
Stop shooting my primies off the board." And then, so yeah, that's cool. But there are some omissions. It looks like. In that you would have hoped they could have thought up something inventive to do with that hag lady thing, doing her thing, like if only one unit can use the witch brew or something like that, like you can only one person has got witch brew per turn or something. I don't know, I'm sure they could have, if they had sat down and thought about it, they could have come up with something. But
see, what I like about that is that's glaringly mean, but you present that in such a lovely way. I think if they'd have sat down and thought about it, which is effectively you saying they didn't sit down and think about it.
Well, maybe they did, but
that's their job.
With anything. But yeah, it would have been lacquer if something was sorted out with the hag, and then also, obviously, quite a few people have put forward the suggestion with the Legions of Nagash and the Nighthawk interaction, just to make the Nighthawk more viable and Legions not so mentally strong. But that's obviously something they've decided consciously to not go with, and rather give those Legions of Nagash a few more toys to play with.
Agreed. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. So, I got a couple of metrics on how to, I think, review this at an endpoint. So initially, you can only, if I say to you, Nath, I'm going to paint all the walls in your house, you obviously wouldn't let me, but also if I was to say I was to do that, and then instead I just ended up giving you a new kitchen, you'd be like, well, it's very nice you gave me a new kitchen, but what you'd said you were going to do was paint all the walls in the house. So Games Workshop put a community post up, you can go read it yourselves, and it did say that what we're going to do is twice a year we're going to put out an FAQ and some erratas to attempt to fix and sort game balance. Yeah, in fact, do you know what? If you give me a minute to just find that specific FAQ, AOS FAQs, Warhammer Community, I'll try and find that. Sorry about this, I should have found this before because it's worth... no, I'll try and find this. You feel free to...
So what army are you working on at the moment, Jonathan?
Moonclan and Slaanesh. Well, the Slaanesh is being built by another dude.
Yeah.
It's a Moonclan. I'm painting my Troll Hag at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Very pretty.
Yeah. Cool.
Have you had time to do anything?
I have been building some Dispossessed, ready for potentially taking them over the seas to go forth and conquer the new world.
What you should do,
yeah.
what you should do, because you probably deserve it more than me, is play them at a tournament in England and take my title.
Oh yeah. Number one.
I saw that two more players have tried and failed since the last time I checked.
Right. Oh, cheers, Chuckle Buddy. So, do you want to hear the quote?
Yeah.
So, keeping a growing game like Warhammer Age of Sigmar maintained is something of a balancing act. We want to find a model that means any issues that arise in your games are dealt with as quickly as possible, while minimizing any bookkeeping or instability in the run-up to major events. Under the new model, you'll be able to benefit from regular updated rules while knowing exactly what to expect of them. Firstly, any smaller changes to battle tomes will be dealt with 2 weeks after they hit the shelves with an errata. They normally keep that to date, which is fine.
Yeah.
Larger changes to the game will be handled through 2 big FAQs each year. These will be released ahead of the spring and summer tournament seasons. Apparently there are seasons, which is nice, and will be aimed for ensuring the game stays balanced based on our observations from major competitive gaming events, as well as the tireless work of our playtesters and rules team. Finally, the General's Handbook will continue to be released annually. But anyway, the point is, larger changes to the game will be handled through the 2 big FAQs each year. These will be released ahead of the spring and summer tournament seasons and will be aimed at ensuring the game stays balanced based on our observations from major competitive game events as well. And so based on that singular metric alone, which is their metric, I don't ask them, and we don't as a community necessarily ask them to release all of these patches and FAQs. They made a commitment themselves, and then they articulated what they wanted to achieve with their commitment. That's fine. And I'm all about that. If they just said, hey, twice a year we're just going to clarify some shit, and the only time we're going to address balance issues is going to be in a chapter in General's Handbook, I'd be like, okay, cool, all right, that's your system. Or if they said, do you know what, we're never going to approach balance because we don't think that it exists, or it's a rock paper scissors game, or whatever it would be, that would be fine. So this isn't my metric, this is their metric, and they did absolutely fucking nothing in my opinion. Apologies for swearing, I know I swore loads, but I don't think they've done anything in this to address balance. Not in a positive way. They've taken 2 armies that aren't particularly performing well based on over 7,000 competitive results. So LLV has done tireless and incredible work for the community on producing stats. So now we know just how fucking good Daughters of Khaine are. And also not how particularly good Ironjawz are. So we know that Ironjawz needed a boost, not a nerf. And they got a nerf. We know that Seraphon needed a boost, not a nerf. Nathan, you and me ended up doing a show for the entire day where we were like, let's just go back to the drawing board with Seraphon, and rowed about it and discussed it. And I spoke to loads of people around the world, and Jeremy and a bunch of great people from around the world talking about Seraphon, trying to rebalance that in our heads and be like, how do we reapproach this? And they got nerf. Now, Daughters of Khaine didn't get a nerf, and we know that they're doing really well, and Legions of Nagash got a bonus. So the game hasn't balanced, or been balanced by this FAQ. Yeah. So I would say that this FAQ, through that metric alone, I'm about to say something really positive about it, because I think it's actually really good. By that metric, it's an utter failure. But that's... So what would you guys say to that as a response?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to balance it, then you're going to look at the armies that are doing particularly well in your observations and try and rein them in a bit. And then you're going to look at the armies that are doing particularly poorly as per your observations, and then maybe try and give them a little bit of leeway or a boost if you can with the rules. That hasn't really happened.
No. John, what do you think about that as a statement? Just as a kind of review.
They fail if that's the case.
Okay, good. All right, so that's fair. But now
they've not addressed balance. Basically,
they haven't addressed balance at all.
Yeah.
So that was their statement. So by gave themselves their own news. That's cool. But positive stuff, right? Number one, and this is going to sound weird. Obviously, I do the 40k show as well. So like Nath, I know you're not super involved in the 40k game. They really have been fucking it up for the entire past year. Like, you can't fly with stuff anymore. You can't, like... They made an FAQ in March, which ended up being an issue that they then fixed in the last FAQ, but they fixed it by just removing all flying from the game. So, like, if you had, let's say, a Zombie Lord, Vampire Lord, and Zombie Dragon, you wouldn't be able to fly over 10 skeletons in the charge phase. He'd just be stood there. You'd have to charge 10 skeletons. Like, it's ludicrous. Like, and they've really like hammered 40k has effectively been 3 editions worth of 40k since its launch. There were 2 FAQs. There was the game launch and then 2 FAQs, which in my opinion have been 3 different and now they've just had chapter approved. So if you play 40k in the past 18 months, you've basically had 4 games. So no wonder there's a huge portion of 40k players who are moving over to play Sigmar, in my opinion, because it's just so unstable. So I would say that the great thing about this FAQ is that it really hasn't done much, and that's awesome. I'm just like, leave it the fuck alone. Like, I'll work out how to beat Legions and Nagash and Daughters of Khaine on my own. Don't touch them.
Well, basically, it's not changed the core rules so much, and that's cool because the core rules are generally great.
Yeah, I think it's excellent. So that's my massive positive. I love that they clarified Holy Within. I love a bunch of the rules changes.
Yeah, all the Malign Sorcery. Because I mean, the Malign Sorcery book, I think, had a lot of it had the feeling like they were a bit slapdash with some of the rules in there, and they just tightened up on those. So that's great.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many knee-jerk reactions realistically. I don't think. John, what do you think about that as a positive?
There's always positives, but I think overall, I mean, the issues at the moment are, from what I've seen, the game is in a really good place. There's a lot of armies that can compete and are doing well in like a healthy way. And the issues that we have in the game are so few, and I really think that they could have taken the time to fix those few issues. Of course, there will be positives, and of course, there will be negatives. And I mean, the questions that they amended, no, it's not negative or anything, but it wasn't what people expected. At least not me.
Yeah, I agree. Ultimately, like what are we seeking? What are we seeking really? We'd quite like Nathan to be able to take his iron jaws out and know that he's not going to get a kicking by Daughters of Khaine 80 to 90% of the time. Like, that's more what we mean by redressing the balance to a degree. Yeah, but like I'm not particularly against the concept that in between General's Handbook there are a few ascendant armies. If we look at the Tzeentch, or if we look at Vanguard Wing as it was, or even Bone Splitters when they were, like that was a thing, right? Like, and so there gets to be these characters and this story and this ongoing narrative of like AOS 2, like, which is cool. Like, I kind of like it. Like, it's really fun. And
it's a shame that those characters are like Adolf Hitler and Goebbels, not like He-Man or other cool dudes.
I'm so sorry. Say one more go. Well.
So it's a real shame that those characters are Adolf Hitler and Goebbels and not He-Man or other cool dudes.
I'm lost. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You don't follow me, don't you?
One more go.
Which characters?
Those cool, so you mentioned the Vanguard Wing as being a character.
Yeah.
It's just a real shame that the Vanguard Wing is Adolf Hitler, not He-Man.
Yes.
Character.
Well, like you do. Yeah. So you do need. Yeah. yeah, you've got good guys and bad guys, right? Which is nice. Like, there's Haywo in the chat now. He's a big Beast Core Raiders fan. Yeah, super excited about it. And he wanted there to be some points changes or something to make Beast Core Raiders a little bit more competitive, right? That's absolutely fair. Like, that's what makes games fun for him. Like, if to go on the show last week, and that would be really awesome. But at the same time, 2 years ago, if someone was like, yeah, man, I got my 3 Thunder Tusks and my 2 units of 60 grots, I'd be like, fucking can't wait to play this shithole list, because they were the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
But now they're not the bad guys. If someone goes, I've got a pure Beast Core Raiders army, you're like, oh, I'm going to give this kid a shoe-in, right? Which is awesome. Like, so there are good guys and there are bad guys, and I think that what's really problematic is when we've spent hundreds of pounds and maybe hundreds of hours into investing and putting our army on the tabletop, and then for us to have uninteractive games where we're not even able to win. Like, there's just zero chance. Like, I think redressing the game balance a little bit so that was more achievable would be something that would be a positive just for customer experiences, right?
Yeah.
And for all of us to have more fun. I would say that that's true, and I would say that that's on what this FAQ should do, not what it is.
No.
But yeah, that's my thoughts. But I love some of the changes, and I love that they didn't do too much. I also don't. And also, again, to point out one more thing that someone brought up earlier. So this is a question to the Twitch chat and everyone else, and this isn't something that's important, but it's worth asking. Based on this FAQ, Nathan, do you think, and John, Twitch chat, based on this FAQ, would you say that Games Workshop or the rules team, or whoever's putting this out for in whatever format, would you say that they have a good grasp on their game in a competitive setting, or would you say that they don't? Would you say that they understand, because obviously they haven't said why they've released this FAQ. They have made a statement before of why they're meant to be releasing the FAQ, so you kind of have to judge them on that metric, I assume. But would you say, based on this FAQ, that you would say that they have a good grasp of what the game is at a competitive level, or that they don't?
I'd say they're not really, and not following what's happening at the tournaments, that's for sure.
Dr. Volk has just donated $5 and said, painted armies will come and go, however well-painted armies will always be well-painted armies. Painted greater than rules. That's a great argument. I can't argue with it. So you say that they don't?
Yeah, no, I don't think they... but yeah, I've not ever thought that they've really understood how, like, for proper tournament play, they seem to get the grasp of the idea of, like, Throne of Skulls style play quite well, because they come up with inventive, fun things for that.
Fuck yeah,
but
agreed.
But for tournament play, less so. Definitely less so.
Yeah. John, you got anything to say to that?
I think that's fair. Absolutely. For those tournaments, it's perfect. But for those competitive ones, no, I don't know. But also, do you realize that they're about to set a record now?
What for?
It took Vanguard Wings 7 months, I think, to get fixed, and Shoreheart will still be here for another 6 months. 12 months.
Yeah. The ability to bring back 400 points for a command point is potentially going to go longer than the 7-month Vanguard fix. And I think that's something also. You posed me a question earlier, John. You said that if your friends weren't playing Age of Sigmar, you'd probably be out, right? That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Like, I like the game. Like, I've been in Age of Sigmar since before it was Age of Sigmar, when it was Warhammer Fantasy Battle, right? And I went through the change, and I was furious as fuck. Nath, you were there. I was not happy, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a bunch of us weren't, and that's fair, I think. I would really like, I'm going to put this in the best way I can, I would really like Games Workshop to grab a hold of their game and make it something wonderful that I could be invested in the way that I want to be invested in it, where the company puts out rules changes and I sit here in this chair and I just say, fuck, that was cool, or well done, that's really good, or I kind of wish you'd improved this a little bit, but overall I can clearly see that you've made some genuine effort to like make my mate's Dispossessed army a little bit better, or my other mate's Ironjaw's army a little bit better, or Nighthaunt to be good on their own. I would love that, and anything I can do, this is to Games Workshop if you ever listen, anything I can do, the Honest Wargamer can do, any of my friends can do to help make that happen, I'm in. Like, I would love to be able to help make that happen. Yeah. Currently, though... Pardon me?
Sorry. Go
on.
Sorry.
No, go on.
I also said the hobby is great. Thinking about the hobby is great. Painting is great. Building, not so much, obviously. And also the company. But rules as they are now, it's not a game that would keep me like playing it if the company wasn't what it is. The scene is.
But in the 5 to 6 years I've been a hobbyist, and for the 5 to 6 years that I've been playing Warhammer games, and playing is my thing. Like, I like playing, although I've got into all parts of the hobby at this stage. I would say that consistently the one thing that has never failed to happen is Games Workshop to do badly at making the game something I more want to play, right? Because they generally do things like this where it doesn't hit my aspirations, right? Like, you know, I want it to be this amazing thing, and it always just seems to be like it feels like they don't give a shit because the information is there, and that feels really bad to say that. And I'm not trying to be negative, it just does feel that way. Then there's a whole bunch of people who are out there who play Iron Jaws or Seraphon or a bunch of other stuff. They're going to be like, why have you done this? I just want to play with my fucking models. Like, and so what I'm trying to get at is, don't be disheartened, because I don't think Games Workshop are going to improve that. I would like them to, and again, statement, anything I can ever do to help them get there where we all want to be, I'm in. I'm all over that. I really want to help. But I don't think they're going to, and I wouldn't be too upset about it. Like this, FAQ 8 came out today, I was just chuckling my balls off. I've been chuckling all day because I like watching clowns. Right? I put a comedy on, I know what I'm going to get. I read a Games Workshop FAQ, it's going to be a joke. Like, that would be my thoughts. But that seems, I don't know, I feel like I've gone down a dark road there, but it's quite light-hearted for me.
It's not a joke, it's just they've neglected some stuff. Yeah, it's just typical. To be honest, I'm quite happy with the FAQ in that they've tidied up those Holy Within stuff.
Yeah, I love that.
Like
yeah.
And like the few things that they've done with that. I mean, yeah, I would have liked some stuff done about Legions and Daughters of Khaine, bringing everybody down to the same level. But yeah, just means my victories over those two particular folks are going to be that much sweeter.
Yeah. Someone said, do you think part of the joke is what endears you to the game though? Like, yeah, fuck yeah. No, like, maybe I like that they don't take it seriously, because like it means that I don't have to take it seriously, right? Like there's that safety net where they're like, hey, by the way, Wild Riders now reroll saves to 1 and -2 to move, and I'm like, who cares? Yeah, but that's fun, because now when I go to a tournament with my friends and I see a unit of Wild Riders, it's a fucking, like, they're a meme machine. They just accidentally just create comedy. Problem is, don't really care about them creating whatever that mythical...
you can't take them too seriously, that's for sure.
Fuck you, Rob, I care. Wild Riders for life. Anyway, yeah, so I liked it. I liked the FAQ because I expected nothing less, and I feared much worse. Yeah. So,
well, yeah.
The thing is,
it's a bit sad
when they neglect competitive play, comp systems are created. I mean, we're playing a comp system. Age of Sigmar was a comp system before they just took it over and added the 0 to the points. And the rules as well.
Do you know what we can't forget? Because I was thinking about this today. So Nath, so the new kind of General's Handbook for 40k has come out, chapter approved, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I've heard people talking about this fucking chapter approved. I've been like,
right. So, and what it is effectively it's their General's Handbook, right?
Handbook, yeah.
And it's got a bunch of missions which are progressive scoring objective missions. They've kind of moved the words around a little bit. Yeah, like sometimes you score at the end of the battle round or at the beginning of the battle round. Yeah, so it's all a bit weird. But effectively, they're Age of Sigmar missions in 40k. They're trying hard as they can to pretend it's not, but it is. And when we talk about playing Age of Sigmar missions, and this is where it gets really interesting, if no one's aware, when Games Workshop left competitive wargaming, for fantasy at least, when they made Age of Sigmar and they were like no points or anything else, a guy called Mo made a bunch of missions, and they were progressive scoring objective missions with just fixed deployment maps and fixed objectives on the board. 3 years later, we're still playing that exactly same game, and it's brilliant. Like, they've changed the missions around and given them different names, and they've changed the points. But if anything, Mo made this incredible game 3 years ago, and the less Games Workshop do to fuck with it, just keep releasing armies into that game for me to play. Yeah, I like the endless spells as well. I'm cool about that. Yeah, like, and even the realm stuff. Like, if they fix the silly things, fuck that off. But they just made this game through, like, not they, Games Workshop, which is really funny because this is.
Well, they haven't messed with the beasts in Gyran, so it's all like.
Well, that's perfect. They haven't messed with the beasts in Gyran, right?
And Gur.
So we're playing the same game, like, and I'm like, I love it. Don't change it. Like, now they've ported that over to 40k. They're like, and what's really funny was, this wasn't a game developer making it, this was just a member of the community who was like, oh fuck, I've got a tournament in a couple of months and they've just blown my game up. I best make a game. Yeah, and that guy's game is still going 3 years later, which is awesome, and is now the 40k game. It's cool. Like, so
it's a Sigmar game and the 40k game.
Yeah. So I just don't want them to mess with it. That's my feelings. Yeah, I just stick with it. Stick with it, guys. In case if you're listening, you're doing really well. Yeah, don't touch the game too much. It's really good. It's not that bad. Like, some armies are a little bit too good, but we'll just work out how to beat them. I'm okay with that. Hey, well, I'd still be upset, but then again, I make grumpy YouTube videos. And then Dave Fraser, Mo pinched most of that off War Machine. He did. We're basically all playing War Machine, as far as I'm aware.
Cool.
So that's the end of the FAQ review. From me, have you guys got anything to add?
I think Jonathan likes War Machine.
John, you like War Machine?
Well, they have a really good function in War Machine. It's called a chess clock.
Awesome.
Right.
I don't know anything about it.
Right, so ladies and gentlemen, everyone, that is the end of this. We're now going to go into because they say you should always end on a high, and I feel I got a little bit preachy there, so I need to fucking get off my perch to stop being such a bell end.
I'm pretty sure you've been high all the time talking about zebras and shit.
Well, now we're into the question and answer phase. It's Christmas. Yeah, you're getting a special extended version. Does anyone got any questions and or answers about anything? We are now into it doesn't have to be about Warhammer, it can be about anything. Twitch chat, so, YouTube.
Ask your question, give us the answer, and we'll
John, anything you want to bring up first? Your dad was a druid? Was your mum? She's probably just a wonderful lady because you're so great. I'm not going to go there. I'm leaving it where it is.
She did a really good job in raising me.
Especially with a dad who's a druid.
Yeah. On my 18th birthday, he sent me out in the woods with a knife and a bag of blood and just yelled, "Survive."
Well, good point. Chuck Buddy just says that. What Games Workshop is doing, giving us all a chance to overcome these obstacles like Legions of Nagash. They're basically giving us
a bag of blood and a knife.
Sending us out into the wild.
They're just like druids.
Oh, wow. Barn, what is your favourite Space Marine chapter, says Barn 140. Mine is the Salamanders. Nathan?
Salamanders.
Jonathan?
World Eaters.
The World Eaters. They're actually a Chaos Space. I suppose at one point they're a Space Marine Legion, so that's fair. Question from Dude Our Day, that glorious man. Fish sticks, are they better in jelly or smoked?
Smoked.
Nathan?
Well, you don't eat them smoked, do you? But if I would have to choose, I'd go with smoked every day of the week.
And do you like them in your mouth?
Love it.
Why are you, a gay fish?
I don't understand.
That's fine, that's fine. Dave Fraser, Nathan, if you had a dwarf on your back, would you toss him off?
Definitely. He wouldn't even have to be on my back.
Good, okay. K-Dread says, if a zebra falls in the woods, does it make a sound? Potentially, but if it does make a sound, it will be a clip-clop noise, and it will make you think it's a horse.
What sounds do zebras do?
Clip-clop.
No, they do make a cool sound.
They don't clip-clop on the savannah.
No.
They made like a shuffling noise.
Oh, Fuck, I can't remember. But no, they do make quite a cool noise, actually.
This is when you bite into the windpipes and eat them for lunch.
No. Google it. It's pretty sweet.
Battle Brother Seraphon, do you think that the Iron Jaws rule changes could technically be an indicative of an incoming Battletome update, since they have let us know this is the year of destruction? They did also let us know it was October and didn't release anything for Orcs for the whole of October.
Oh, yeah, so expect something 2020.
2020 is the year of destruction. So there we go.
Have they said that it's the year of destruction?
I don't know.
I know that they've said that the next battle tome is destruction, and that they've showed us a picture of a bad moon. So,
oh my god,
we know what that is. But
yeah.
I didn't realize the whole year has been dedicated to destruction. That's
But
cool.
if it's like an army of Credence Clearwater Revival,
bad moon rising. Yeah.
Unicorn John says, isn't that just two half coconuts, not a horse? That's the issue, you never can know. So Zyko says, retry, 10-second opinion on Darkly Governs. They're great, I like Blackguard, and I also really like Executioners. Nathan, your 10 cents.
Yeah, I think so I've had a couple of games with them early in Age of Sigmar. Two, yeah. Really cool. I like them a lot. I think they've got legs.
They've usually got two each. That's a great question.
Yeah,
John,
I think they're cool.
what do you think about Darkly Governs?
I think they're 30 quid for 10 guys. Bit too expensive, maybe. Yeah, side.
Oh, Mick Wendell, thanks for donating 150 bits. Woohoo! Elmbird says, Morgan Sourcemash asks, Rob question, Babylon 5 ended 20 years ago last month. Who was your favourite character and why? Little side note, if you ever look at the ships for Warhammer 40,000, they look exactly like the ships in Babylon 5. And my favourite character was Marcus. You know who Marcus is, Nath? We live for the one, we die for the one. Never mind, that's fine. But Morgan Storms, I sure get it.
Marcus Aurelius, the Roman Emperor.
If it is the year of destruction, I'll be excited, says Mick. The big question is are we going to get Man-Eaters still going to be a part, or are they going to ever be part of a faction or not? And
They are part of a faction. The Man-Eater faction.
Man-Eater faction!
Just like the Firebellies have got their Firebelly faction.
Yeah. What's the issue?
I've got none. Tyromancer, do you think the consolidation of Elves, Ogres and Skaven on the Games Workshop site mean they will get a generic book of their own?
Well, they've put them all in the same thing. Elves, Skaven and...
Yeah, Elves, Skaven and Ogres are all together. And Grots are all together as well.
All in the same? That's quite a combo.
No. Sorry. Let me re-clarify that. Elves have been amalgamated. Ogres have been amalgamated. Skaven have been amalgamated.
Oh, so does that include the Man-Eaters that we've just talked about?
Potentially, yeah, but they haven't amalgamated them into factions. They've just amalgamated on their store.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes that does make us...
I think it's a bug, because before you could sort by race.
You could sort by race. I kind of like that. That was kind of weird and fun.
And now it's just weird and fun.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get more Aos Battle Tomes now? Most of the 40k army's got the codexes started. I think we will have, I'm going to guess, 6 as a minimum next year. Just guessing. That's my thoughts.
We're going to get 6 more battle tomes next year. Sweet.
Yeah. Chuckabutty TV, question to Nathan and John, everyone. Do you think we'll see a new Stormcast chamber in 2019? Yes.
Obviously.
At
least 2.
At least 2, yeah. And Heinrad, my favourites are Garibaldi and Kosh. Garibaldi was the best, yeah. Jakar was great. That speech at the end of season 3. We should do a podcast just about Babylon 5, Nath, with you rewatching it.
You can.
Yeah.
Is it some Battlestar Galactica bullshit?
Yeah, sounds like
Battlestar Galactica is one of the best TV shows ever made.
Nice, but...
Yeah, if you're really into bad TV shows.
Oh my god. Nathan, should we do soft scoring in tournaments based on race of the armies, not the players?
Oh, so you're talking comp system.
But only, yeah, like if you play Dwarden, do you automatically get like a free win on the board?
No, fuck you.
Okay,
Dwarden
so
are the best.
That's a comp system.
Yeah, it is a comp system
Yeah.
based on race. That's what I'm saying.
No, we don't need a leg up. You'll end up being in the book of grudges if you try and give us a leg up. Fuck you.
Battlestar Galactica is amazing. These two are just idiots. Don't worry about it. Yeah, or you could do a handicap. Also, a
Are you
Stormcast.
trying to say that my dwarves are handicapped?
Because they're so short. Oh my god.
No, you are walking the wrong way down this one-way street, my friend.
Okay, fine. All right, if you're not interested.
No.
What else? There's no other questions coming in the Twitch chat. No questions coming on the YouTube chat, which is cool.
There's Jonathan's favourite question, is there?
What?
Should AOS 2.2 use chess clocks?
Oh my god, shut up, Dudarday. Why does he do this? Why does he just do this to us? Just to hurt us?
Obviously, they
Whatever,
should.
slow player.
I'd be quite interested to play a game with chess clock. Just to see
It's
how
not
it
bad if you
goes.
try it.
Yeah.
But people, especially British people, are afraid that they haven't tried or met. Or
Why don't you try jellying a bit of food and then get back to me, brother?
Not a fucking monster.
Alright, cool. Question, does Speckles stand a chance against my Stormcast? The answer is no, Chuckabutty. I feel that you will win. Movement trays or no for units over 20? Movement trays always. As many movement trays as you can get. If you have over 2 models in a unit, movement tray. That's my opinion. Nathan, thoughts?
Fuck off.
No?
No, I think movement trays are cool, especially for deployment, but once you start moving them around, take them off. I like to use the movement trays on my shooters because they're not going to get into a fight most of the time.
Yep.
And I do like to deploy, especially if I'm at a tournament, I like them off and onto movement trays because it helps with deployment a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clan and should ever chosen monogod battalions be allowed in monogon allegiances like Playtouch Warband? Yeah, as long as they're pointed correctly and they don't become Daughters of Khaine, which follows up to Mick Wendell's question: should Daughters of Khaine get a big points increase? 10 witches for 140 points. I think if you just increase the points of the hags, you're good. In my opinion, I think if you increase the points of the hags, you're good.
Yeah, probably the witches can go up a bit as well, though.
You think?
I'm not sure. Oh, yeah.
What,
you
if
look at
they're-
all the bonuses that they have, then you compare them to, let's say, executioners or something.
But the bonus, but the bonuses come from the hags, right? Like,
No, yeah,
but
the
then-
bonuses
but-
as well.
But then the hags are going to have to be like, how many points are you thinking? Like triple
500
triple
points.
them?
well, so they're currently 60 or something dumb, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
just
zero.
3 times as much, 180 points. Yeah, and then stick 100 points on top of the cauldron. There you go. Fuck you.
I think that they should put.
Fair enough
okay,
then,
listen.
but yeah, you
I
don't.
think that they should put points on the Skype ports.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, haven't we? Whenever something is free, yeah, whenever there's not a cost. The good thing about battalions is there's always a cost. Take the Dreadwood, right? You take the Dreadwood Wargrave, and someone's like, I like the Dreadwood Wargrave, and someone goes, I don't, because I hate Spite Revenants. It's like because there's a tax to the cost. They did great with that. I don't know why they've ever moved away from that. Like giving Skyports away for free and giving away
I know why.
temples for free. Why? Because they're writing 40k.
Put points.
No,
You put points on the Skyports. They can use them themselves.
yeah, because we didn't make it. What about no? I got to say, I think it's because at that point they were writing 40k codexes for days, and where you would get like a chapter, Space Marine chapter for free, and then they integrated it, which is why the Karajan's Overlord book is basically.
Yeah, you should probably pay points every time you get rules. Free abilities. You should pay points for them. Yeah, so I agree with that.
So I think that's for me. That's where the issue lies. And then Speckles and Chuckabutty are rowing in the chat, which is like watching two kids fight with their plastic swords. Don't hurt yourself, boys. Yeah, one of you will win. That's fine. Mick Wendell is right, though. The unit of Witch Elves buffed correctly is one of the tankiest and killiest units in the game.
Yeah.
which is
that 5++ is so weird to me, because they removed it from death for a reason, because people didn't enjoy playing against it. Then they reintroduce it in the Daughters of Khaine. And it's like, I think when they implemented it, I don't think that they like, okay, they can re-roll this. They didn't take that into the equation. I'm 100% sure of it.
You are suggesting that they, again, aren't the greatest at some of these things.
No, I think they're too rushed. I think Games Workshop should double the amount of rules writers.
That would be...
I've seen their stock.
Yeah, they can afford it. I gotta say that would be my number one takeaway from this. Take all the money you're making and hire a ton more game developers. Hire professional playtesters. All love and care and passion to all of the current playtesters who exist and work really hard to make the game work. If the rules team, with their current capacity as a workload, and all the playtesters around the world are able to only make this FAQ, that's the best they got. They need more help. And I want them to have more help. So, hire more rules dudes. Specifically hire Nathan, just who they go to in that Christmas hat at the end of all day, and they go, so we were thinking about giving a Horde army a 5+ rerollable after damage save, and then Nathan goes, no, fuck you, don't do this. And they're like, oh, the boss has said no, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board.
They come back with a 4+ rerollable.
Yeah. Or a 4-up rerolling ones. Yeah, it's not as bad. Yeah. Okay. All right. Look, I think we've had some fun at the end. Yeah, Nath.
Yeah.
You had some fun.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Thanks everyone for listening. I just want to reiterate that I'm really excited about playing more Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Like, I've got some games lined up. I've got some right here on my painting desk, as you can see, an endless spell. I am a little bit confused now whether or not this is a spell or an endless spell.
Why can't it be both?
I actually don't know. So that's my worry. And also this wonderful, as you can see, Shartor the Executioner, who I am going to learn to airbrush. I'm going to watch some painting tutorials, and I'm going to airbrush him and try and do a good job of him and his Bull Centaur mates.
Well, so some more of them fellas.
Yeah, because I'm going to run the Execution Horde and a Zangor Shaman with the bull. And it's going to be a terrible army, but I'm going to paint it really nice and have a great time.
Very good.
So I'm super excited.
The hoops on the bulls, are they trotters or are they hoops?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. What, on the Bull Centaurs?
Yeah. Trotters or hooves? Obviously hooves, they're not pigs.
They're cows, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wait, a cow's feet hooves?
Yeah.
What's a cow's foot? A hoof or a trotter?
No, it's a hoof.
What's it? Hold on, let me Google it.
Only
I don't want to give the wrong information away. What's a cow's foot called? Thank you, Google.
But
Limb on a cow.
Wait, most even-toed ungulates, such as sheep, goats, deer, cattle, bison, and pigs, have two main hooves on each foot. Together, a cloven hoof. Yeah. So they have a hoof.
yeah.
They're
Cloven hooves.
Cloven hooves.
As opposed to horses, which have got a single hoof.
They have.
That's not cloven. That's not cloven.
So I'm really excited about playing Age of Sigmar. John, you excited about playing Age of Sigmar?
Yeah, I am. I just need to get my armies up and running. I have the sluttiest Idoneth Deepkin army in the world is currently in England, I believe, somewhere, sluffing around.
Just generally being used.
Doing
Slutty
charity work for people who are too lazy to paint their own miniatures.
The Bring a Buy army. Nathan, what about you? You excited about playing some more Age of Sigmar?
Always, yeah.
Yeah. I really hope that they. Oh, actually, we might be able to do a thing. Hold on, watch this, Nath. I'm going to try and do a thing really quickly. Oh no, Jet! Jet, stop this! Why are you always doing this to me, Jet? What are you going to be playing with, Nath?
Iron Jaws still. They're cool.
Yeah?
General mixed destruction. I played a crazy mixed destruction list the other day, which was fun. Had wolf riders, spider riders, Ale Guzzler, some normal grots, some greenskin oryx. Was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
A wyvern.
A wyvern?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was coolest. I enjoyed that. So yeah, just all the stuff I generally play with. Carry on. More of the same.
Nathan, if you could just hold that in front of Jet's face. There we go. So everyone, if you look at the screen now... Oh, no, wait, hold on. It's working, yep. If everyone looks at the screen, you should be able to see Jet up close. There we go. A bit of Jet TV for everyone. So there he is, just having the bestest time. Looking his best. Just tried his hardest, looking his best. Nathan not really understanding how cameras work and has actually turned it 90 degrees. Tech wizardry. There we go. So I achieved it. Right, so I just want to say thank you, John, for being on the telly.
Thank you for having me.
You're wonderful. If anyone wants to check Jonathan out, he will be available once they've finally shipped out all of the presents to Santa.
Yeah, it's a busy.
Once those druids have finished with them.
What did you say, Nathan?
Once the druids have finished with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to Nathan. Thank you to you for being on the show.
Thank you, sir, for having me.
Merry Christmas to everyone and happy holiday season to everyone who's listening to the podcast. Everyone who's watching live, thanks for joining us. You guys have made it a really fun day. So thank you for all the comments and everything that you leave in there. Thank you to everyone who's watching on YouTube. I sometimes don't say hello to you. Thank you. And thank you to all the people that leave comments. That's really nice of you. Thank you to everyone who watches on Facebook and likes and shares it all. And thank you to everyone listening on the podcast. Don't forget, everything was brought to you, thankfully, by everyone on Patreon and everyone on Twitch who subscribes and supports the show. We've got an amazing year next year. Don't forget to go on theHonestWargamer.com and make your own list rundowns and unit rundowns now in AOS 2.2. And we've got an amazing year next year where we're covering loads of Age of Sigmar events. Me and Nathan, I can announce, are going to CanCon together.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to Australia because some Australians have paid for Nathan to go as well. Which is really exciting. We are going to Sheffield Slaughter and doing the live coverage there. We're doing Six Nations, we're doing Blood Tithe, we are doing the next big Bobo. I'm really hoping we get to go over to Sweden and do the Swedish tournament, but if not, I'm going to talk to Jonathan at some point and ask him if he wouldn't mind streaming the Swedish tournament and sending it back this way, because the idea of some Swedish commentators talking over Sigmar is the best weekend I can imagine.
Yeah, sounds good.
And now we have entered the movement phase. It gets very exciting.
And obviously
you're welcome, man. You're welcome.
that would be so good to do. So yeah, thank you to everyone, and we hope you have a great day, whatever you're doing. Don't forget, it's a wicked game. We're all going to have a fun time. Just enjoy yourself.
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Carry on.
And goodbye from Jet.